Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, live letter recap. I don't need to say nothing else. We gotta save as much time as possible because this is gonna be a long show. But anyway, I am one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Pope Rome. Of course, joining me as he does every week is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka you my boy Blue. How you doing?
Every time you say that, you say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, how is that a bad thing? Like he does every week, so there's no debate that you're here.
No, the long show.
The long what?
The long show. Like,
No, it's not. No, because people have lives to live, Slyh.
He's not apologizing to the viewers. He's apologizing to us.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I've trapped you all in this cage of emotion for the next however many hours it could possibly
Cage of
take.
hype?
Cage of hype. I mean, hype is an emotion.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it?
Come
really?
on now.
I think it's something that like generates emotion. I don't think hype is itself in it.
No, it's an emotion.
Describe how hype is distinct from.
How about
like,
I
other
describe my
emotions,
remaining two guests before we have this discussion?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, there you go. Shut your mouth. Ethys, that's you. Now that's your.
Yeah, that's your intro. Ethys.
See, that was my intro.
There you go.
Hey guys.
Nice tiny little cup.
And joining
Thanks,
us is the final of the Four Horsemen, one of the three twins himself, Very Merri.
Ooh, hi.
So we had this discussion in the pre-show regarding us. People call us the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse whenever we're all on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that ever again.
Wait, is that a Zaylo tribe pun in some way?
No,
No,
not in any
just
way.
me.
Yeah, and it's not a wrestling reference either, as much as Slyh wants it to be. Look at his face. He wants, yeah, every time. So we've determined that Slyh and I are too big to be famine, and that Slyh and Ethys are both dragoons, so that one of you has to be death. So we determined I'm pestilence, Slyh is war, Ethys is death, and Merri is famine.
It makes sense. I always forget to eat before stream.
There you go. Makes perfect sense. So this is gonna be a long show, guys. I don't think I can put it any other way. This was the longest live letter to date. It broke the record.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What was the former record? The last.
I don't know, but not 4
3
hours.
3 hours
Yeah.
and some change for Heaven's Ward.
And this one was 4 hours. When we were 2 sections through, and it was 2.5 hours, and people are like, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
Some people in Japan were like, "It ended at 5 a.m."
Wasn't it 2 hours in before they took their first break?
No, I think it was like an hour and a half in. I think it was like an hour and a half in, and then 3 hours in, and then the last 40 minutes they just covered the last 2 sections real quick.
I mean, to be fair, Yoshida was like stalling as much as possible about having to talk about the Tales of Adventure.
Yeah,
He did not want to go there.
yeah. Well, it is what it is. So
We're gonna go there.
luckily, everything we have here is an official translation. Honestly, there was so much information. I was finding out about things like after it was already done that I don't remember hearing during the live letter, but that everyone swears was said. So we have a lot to get through. We'll probably be breaking it up. We can literally, if we do bullet to bullet, we'll be here longer than the live letter itself. So we're not going to do things like cover the current issues with the combat or anything. We'll just talk about what they're doing and our thoughts on some select things. Does that sound okay to you guys?
No.
No. What would you like to do instead, Merri?
I was being.
No, Merri. I want to hear. What would you like to do instead?
Let's go to the movies.
All right. What movie do you want to see?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, I haven't seen Guardians 2 yet. I can go for that.
seen it.
I'm
I
down.
think there's like a whole bunch of raccoons.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Are we the
See
new
you
Guardians
guys.
of the Galaxy? Because
All right, I'll see you there in 20.
we need a Groot if that's the case.
Wolf.
Wolf can be Groot.
Well, no, he knows what to do.
So is he okay? All right. I'll accept it.
Mm.
So, the first things that were kind of just detailed as a disclaimer that anything we say or any numerical values are subject to change. Nothing here is final. So, Don't say it's final, or I'll hate all of you. All right?
Is that final?
That's final.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Just making sure. Well, that's the only thing that is final. So we got our information on the cross-roll system. That is the thing first and foremost. One of the big question marks since they first spoke about it back at the North American Fan Fest. That's how long we've waited for this. North American Fan Fest. Oh, man. And we were all there for that. I was sitting next to Ethys listening to him murmur things to himself. He had a lot.
I mean, to be fair, like, what am I not murmuring to myself?
Yeah, right now you're murmuring to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
That's exactly.
I don't even know. I don't even realize that I'm on a show right now.
No, it's just a fantasy. Some would say it's your final fantasy.
No.
I like how he has the 3DS that handy every time now. You elected to be on this show. You know that, right?
No, I didn't.
I asked you.
I didn't say yes. You just expected me to be here this morning.
I said, you guys want to do a Four Horsemen show? Yeah, sure.
Oh.
All right. There you go. You deserve that. So let's go over each of what we definitively know about the cross-roll system, and then we can speculate about what the other things might be. Please continue to speculate would be the term that I think we'll be using more so now than ever before, I suppose.
Please continue to spatula.
Yeah, please continue to spatula. That's more of a SpongeBob thing. You know, that's...
You're really on fire today, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
When you say on fire, do you mean like hot or crashing and burning?
No, you're killing it, dude. You fucking killing it.
He took it to the spatula thing. That's
Okay. He took it even further.
Okay. So, Merri, I want you to talk about the tank crossrolls because you're the one who wanted Samurai to be a tank. So just so you can relive that that's not how it panned out and you're still somewhat disappointed, I want you to start us on.
You're just rubbing salt in the
crossroll.
wound, aren't you, man?
He was really upset. Look at his face.
Yeah.
Had to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, where do I even start? I really like some of the synergy that they have between tanks now. So,
well, with that, I mean, we have a lot of abilities that were moved into tank crossroll.
that's true.
And this is a theme that we'll get to talk about a lot here because crossroll took a lot of what used to be job exclusive actions and has placed them or has placed icons similar to them in the crossroll.
Now did you say moved into or removed? I couldn't hear that.
Moved into.
Okay.
So like we see a lot of icons that are very similar.
Yeah.
So with tank,
at the same time, it lost a few.
yeah, like tank, like a lot of jobs lost their own, and then there's certain utilities, especially when we go to talking about healer, that are kind of up in the air about where they are, what exists where.
Well, that's you made a good point there, and it's definitely worth noting that the icons that appear to represent actions that they previously were not necessarily the case anymore. They could be different, and at the same time, they could have given new icons for already existing actions.
Yeah.
So
please continue to speculate.
Exactly.
There you go. So with tanks, Rampart got moved there, and Rampart equivalents were removed from all the jobs except for Foresight, which Warriors are like, yay, got rid of that.
But that's never
finally.
really Rampart.
But it was their Rampart equivalent, pretty much, as bullshit as that is.
Yeah.
So Rampart's there. Convalescence was there, so that's something all the tanks can take. Provoke, which is something they told us they were going to do. And from that point on, everything else was kind of a surprise. I don't know about you guys, but Reprisal being cross-roll was my biggest surprise there.
Why is that?
Yeah.
It was like Dark Knight was known for Reprisal. There was no
That's
equivalent on any of the other jobs. And it doesn't
That's
work.
true.
It doesn't look like it works the same either. It's just tanks can choose to take a disable, pretty much the equivalent of what was Astra's disable if they so want to. There's no damage component. There's no parry component.
we'll get to that later. But
he's really excited to talk about Perry.
oh god, yes. That really wasn't a surprise to me. I kind of figured that reprisal would be there as a roll skill.
You thought reprisal was going to go to roll skill? That shocks me.
Yeah.
What led you to that?
It fit, and that's kind of the
Tanks can parry.
a theme to all these role skills is that they, no matter what job they originated from, put it on any other job and it fits. It fits into the playstyle. Like low blow. Why not? Seriously. Because when I was playing Paladin, I fucking hated Shield Dash because it was a GCD fucking stunt. I'm like, just give me fucking low blow.
But it had no cooldown, so
it also cost a ton of TP.
Yeah. No, I mean it had its uses in turn 5 back in the day. You really couldn't do without it. Exactly. Yeah. So there's
you would assign the Paladin to just auto attack on Ifrit hard mode. Just auto attack in the entire last phase.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's true. And no one else was allowed to stun.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Paladin never had an off global cooldown stun, so that's nice. And they still do have Shield Bash if you liked it. Yeah. So they didn't lose that in the process.
That's true.
So I think the only other one they talk about, because we have the names of all 10 of them, but they don't talk about Interject, Anticipation, or Shirk. Interject has like a little silence thing on it, so it looks like you have a stun and a silence that you can choose to take on tanks, but they never definitively said that. You could just see the little like ... in the text bubble. Ultimatum's the only other one they talked about, which is an AoE provoke. I'm thinking right now, there's not many scenarios other than a healer hot pulling aggro where I think of many situations where I can't just hit an AoE.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's only if someone fucks up, really.
Or it's like, healer aggro initially upon spawning ads. So the only real situations I imagine these.
But a lot of the role actions do seem to be stuff like that. It's like stuff that can be useful, but if you're good, you don't need it, and you can take something better.
Yeah, it's interchangeable. It allows it, and this is the one thing I was worried about: creativity in your builds, and that's something that we already had. With for example, tanks can't have a second wind now, and a lot of tanks picked up second wind. Yeah, it's still interchangeable to the point where you can still be creative. It's something if you don't feel like something works or is just unnecessary, don't take it. Take something else that's probably a little more useful to you.
Yeah,
so it kind of alleviated my concerns.
And you're going to be taking a different bag of tricks for probably every different fight in Savage.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fucking awesome.
I want to present, since Tank's the only one we've been through, do you like the idea of having all these sets? Because ultimately what it comes down to is every fight still has a best set of cross-class. It's just a different set. It's just a different set of cross-roll or role-specific actions. Do you think that we need this choice, like that we have to choose 5 if we're just going to change it to fit every single fight anyway? Or that we, as players, do we really need that?
See, I think it goes a little further than that. It's also going to depend on what you have in your party. Because there's, different roles. So like, let's say you have, melee and ranged or caster or whatever else, and you have all these different skills that you can choose from. It might be better, like one group comp might have a different setup than another group comp.
Okay, and I guess
depending on what they have access to.
Yeah, and that's true. It's not necessarily going to be like, all right, these are the best things, because if you've got, like I said, depending on your group comp, you might need one person to take a silence or a stun because you don't have that naturally in your job. If we're talking, I think the good example, if we're talking about job actions more generally, not just about tanks, I reckon the really good case study for me is True North. Which is this new role action that melee DPS are getting, which alleviates all positional requirements for, I think, 30 seconds.
15.
Like that. 15 seconds. Right. There you go. And if you're someone that struggles with positionals or has a tank that has to move like bosses around or adds around an awful lot, like that is super, super useful. However, if you never have problems with your positionals and you're confident, then you take something like a stun or a silence or a targeted. There's like a targeted heavy and bind remover thing. So you take something like that. So there's always going to be a best thing, but it's still I don't know. It's not so clear cut to me. It's going to depend on the group. It's going to depend on the fight. It's going to be something that you're going to be like switching an awful lot. And I like that. I really, really like that.
But there's always gonna be pushback in terms of the skills that people have lost. Now, again, we don't have the final say so on what skills got moved into another skill, like fall under another umbrella. But it gets a lot of people in trouble in most situations, and in terms of for example, blood for blood. That's one that I'm giving a lot of pushback on because it gets you in those, like, there are certain skills that get you into a lot of trouble.
I've had my fair share of blood for blood problems before.
Yeah. So you're talking about how that's not a role skill anymore, and people are going to be upset by that. Well, the thing is, like, the other melees are going to be getting equivalents.
True.
We're not getting internal release either. Dragoon's not getting internal release, and I'm like, what the hell? I know warriors are going to be really salty about not having internal release.
Or second wind, or bloodbath.
Second wind. Yeah, exactly. Or bloodbath. But it's reasonably safe to assume that they're going to be getting some sort of equivalent replacements or something that sort of fills that gap for them.
Yeah, we don't know what umbrella they're going to fall under, or if they just got nixed completely. Yeah.
Well, since you jumped ahead to melee cross roll, we'll do that one next. You already mentioned True North, and I just mentioned Bloodbath. Bloodbath's now a melee cross roll.
It's got a different icon too. It's like a
bloody,
fish, like all bloody
fist. Yeah.
It's fucking sweet.
So we're staying alive. That's for us, I suppose. We have second wind, invigorate.
Of course.
Leg sweep was moved into that from Dragoon.
It's got a new animation as well.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. And then we also have goad being cross roll.
I laughed at that one.
Yes.
You understand that now as a Dragoon, you're responsible for putting it on other people, right?
Maybe
Only
people will
if I
actually
pick it up.
use it.
Only if I pick it up.
You son of a bitch.
Maybe people will actually use it now.
What it means is that I don't need a ninja in my party for me to get goaded by other people.
You still need.
You can't goad yourself.
What are you saying? That
What if they don't take it? What if they're like you?
Well, they'll have to because I'm not.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does. Someone's got to take it.
No, they don't.
Sure, they do.
If you know why someone else needs to take it, because you want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. And then they made mention of this skill. I think they made mention of for both casters and for melee DPS. Let me scroll back up. Yeah, diversion. Yeah, where because people noticed that casters don't have quelling anymore, and so they was like,
which they don't use anyway.
He was like, calm down. They have this new skill called diversion. So that's diversion in World of Warcraft is literally it's not called diversion. It's called there's a hunter skill, redirection or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was basically like the Shadewalker kind of thing in World of Warcraft. So I'm wondering, I don't think they gave us the exact description, but when I hear diversion, I don't think take less enmity. I think of like give it
generate enmity for someone else.
Yeah. Give it to somebody else.
Yeah. I heard some people say that they hovered over it and that it was or misdirection. There you go. I heard somebody say they hovered over it and it said it was just quelling. So I don't know what's right on that one, but it's your enmity reducer.
Yeah.
And monks have it.
Yeah.
I've pulled aggro every expert roulette on my monk in the past like weeks.
Oh man.
I tanked the entirety of the first boss of Dunscaith on monk.
I've tanked all of World of Darkness on this. Those were fun days. I felt bad for the tanks with the I-60 weapons that we had.
No. Oh no. What? Why? Why?
It was the World of Darkness, man.
You said I-60?
Yeah, they were brand new, but they had all the gear. They met the minimum item level. They just had garbage weapons.
What you mean, like I-160?
No, World
No.
of Darkness.
Oh, right. I thought you... Yeah, okay. All right. Yep, I'm done.
There you go.
Yep.
Not Weeping City. Maybe I said Weeping City once by accident and confused. I don't know.
No, you said WAD.
Wad. I didn't
You're a
say
wad.
Yeah, you're a wad. For casters, we saw Swiftcast. We saw APOC, which surprised me. We saw
Why? Why did it surprise you?
I don't know. I mean, when I think it,
Apocastasis.
It's a great skill.
It is a great skill. I just don't think. I just went. My first process, first thought process was not, hey, let's throw APOC into Red Mage and Summoner as well. I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was just surprised. I mean, a lot of this was surprising. You can't say it wasn't.
Was it the?
It was.
A few things.
Regardless of when the information was received, it was
Right,
surprising.
okay. No, yeah, right, yeah. When we first received it, it was surprising information.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surecast was there. Okay.
Yeah, who uses that? Who does use Surecast?
It's good in a few very surprise
Limited
scenarios.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
that's
pull
right.
aggro.
You know, it's a good situation.
Yeah, when someone fucks up.
in turn 5, you know the red marker.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the healer and you're targeted by that interrupts casting.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. There's been a few things like that.
So, you know, in 4 years, I've got one example. That's the best I
4
can come up with.
years.
Someone's asking in the chat if I read Surecast. Did we actually get a tooltip on Surecast? I should probably pull up because I have a something that is like all of the new skill tooltip translations. Let me see if that's on the. Oh, it did.
How did you get that?
People hover over it. When he's hovering over it in the live letter, people just translate it. So
So what do we got?
So Surecast, next spell cast without interruption, which are also immune to sleep, stun, knockback, and pulls. Fuck you, healers, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
We'll get to
really
that in a
good.
minute.
Yeah. So it looks like that immunity is like for 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And its numbers could change, but it also only had a half a minute cooldown. So for 1/3 of a
good.
minute, you can't be like, you know, pulled in by your dickish healer out of your ley lines.
Well, I heard with what's the name of the skill that's doing the pull?
Skill that's during the pull?
No, that's doing the pull that we saw the white man.
Oh, rescue.
Rescue.
Right. So I heard that only can be used on people that have enmity.
But the thing is, when you're in combat, you have enmity.
No, but I mean, like, but only
Like,
ones that have like full enmity that are the top. Yeah.
Why would you want to rest? Because I want them to
Yeah,
pull
that doesn't
the
make sense.
because I
Well, it
want.
didn't make sense to me either. It's like, what, you're gonna pull the main tank and cleave everyone?
That's exactly what I was going to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
No.
another idea, by the way.
But I'm just saying that it's a little bit unclear to me at the moment who you can actually use it on.
Thanks for giving that idea to the healers too. Because
It's going to be so. Oh man, there's a couple of other trolley abilities in there, but that one is going to be so funny.
The Trollius.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously, why the fuck?
Great.
I reckon the
Great,
second trolley is.
Great.
The second trolley is.
Great. They also got like they said that it was Addle, but it was just a virus, but changed. They just that's it. That's all they told us is that version that we see is called Addle. An ability to cleanse yourself of dots as a caster, which was super strange to me.
Yeah, it sounds like a PvP ability.
But it's not, which we'll talk about.
I think that's good because there's a lot of like AoEs and stuff in raid that if you stand in, you pick up some really, really heavy dots.
There you go. So you can stand in more AoEs.
Exactly.
There you go. And then also this one. This one
Good.
seems tailored to black mages more so than the other two. And Mana Shift. You give 20% of your MP to a party member.
That's fucking nice.
Yeah.
Black mages, actual batteries.
Yeah.
Just call yourself Energizer Bunny because you just keep on going.
Yeah.
I'm confused. How often do you think summoners and red mages use that skill? And who's the recipient most of the time? Because we know that paladins are gonna be
Who's the recipient?
Fuck the healers. No, the paladins
healers?
like this. Dark Knight's like
Healers?
Dark Knight's like grid is off. Give it to me.
I see. I would have thought like
Dark side.
I would have thought like White Mage or Scholar would be putting their hands up the most.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think paladins and Dark Knights without Dark Side are gonna be like, it's off. Give it to me so I can turn it back on.
Yeah.
Paladins be like, me, please. I got the thing where I hold the sword forward and it's
So we're just going to be taking like an Ice Mage battery.
Yeah, you'll have one party member who's only an Ice Mage.
Only an Ice Mage.
That's
it.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, that's there you go. And a few things to note. By the way, I don't know which one of you it is. One of you is picking up the audio, and it's going from your mic back into your headset. Not sure.
Oh, really?
One. Yes. Not sure which one it is, but
Well, I'll turn my audio down a little bit. I don't think it's me, but I'll turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
All right. But anyway, a few things to note. Raging Strikes was not in there.
Mm-hmm.
Quelling Strikes was not in there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you so that's a big thing. All the buffs like across all the jobs. Like you said, you think they'll consolidate or they'll get their own options, but we've seen the hotbars for a lot of these jobs, and while they said that the hotbars aren't completely indicative of everything they have, I didn't see enough new elements on there to make me believe they'll get like a row of buffs like we had for most of the jobs before. Or maybe they're trying to undo that whole row of buffs thing.
I think so, because there's like a whole bunch of overlaps with buffs, and so much of it's just redundant. It's like, make the ones you've got more powerful. That sort of makes sense to me.
I think the idea of like trying to just bake more stuff into like your rotation is the right direction to go in, just so there's less stuff that's just filler and more just like core.
Did it ever really feel like filler though? Because it like in
some cases, yeah.
In terms of most rotations, it actually mattered. It was important to the rotation.
Well, yeah, but it was just filler buttons that weren't like so much. They weren't just instant gratification.
Just arbitrary buffs.
Yeah. Not like something that gives you instant gratification, like a off GCD that does damage or something like that, but just something you put up and it affects you, but there's no like immediate like you can really feel it making a difference,
Right.
I feel like there's also another argument to be made in favor of having less like buff cooldowns. Is that the fewer of them you have, the more impactful they are, the more important they are. It's kind of like in the same way that Final Fantasy XIV having a longer global cooldown means that every skill, every button press is more important. I feel like if you've got less of these arbitrary or redundant cooldowns, each one of them that you do have is that much more valuable.
Yeah, and that's something that we'll talk about when we talk about the PvP changes later, as much as I know you guys are super excited about talking about PvP changes.
Yeah.
We'll have to hit that point a little bit later, because that's a big thing regarding the PvP changes that I want to bring up. Ranged physical cross roll, Swift Song. So I guess that's fine. Second Wind, Invigorate, and all the Machinist CC skills are the only things we can really glean out of that. So that would be a Silence. There's Leg Graze, Head Graze, and
Silence a Stun.
Silence a Stun. I don't think I saw the knockback on there. The other one's a Bind. That's right, and a Bind. It was a Heavy, a Bind, and a Silence, I think? I saw 3 of them. I just don't remember which ones.
I don't think I saw Blank.
No, I don't think I saw Blank. But I think it was the Bind, the Heavy, and the Silence. It's either the Silence or the Stun. I'm almost positive I saw Leg Graze, Head Graze, and a different one.
Slow?
Yeah, it might have been the Slow, Heavy, and Bind. Which would make sense, because who the fuck... What? Like, come on. I was never happy with those abilities on Machinist as is, so I don't remember which one is which, even though I've been playing Machinist for like 6 months now. I just don't ever look at my fucking icons. Yeah, I do have the thread. I literally have the thread up that people are linking, I'm just not even looking at it because I'm trying to just go off the notes. Foot graze. I'm sorry, the only foot graze I know is foot dive. You guys don't know foot dives?
Do you mean dive kick?
No, foot dive. Man, you guys don't know fighting games then, huh?
I know dive kick.
Yeah, I know that one.
Dive kick.
Foot dive.
Okay, all right.
Victor Von Doom would be very disappointed.
Well, he
Marvel.
can
There you go.
solve this.
When's Marvel?
Marvel.
Another one that was pointed out was Palisade, and this is again coming from that Reddit thread, which reduces the physical damage received by your target party member by 20%. So it's like you can put a 20% less physical damage taken buff on an ally.
Which is fucking nice.
That's pretty fucking strong. That's pretty strong. People also translated a few of the other ones. Tactician and Refresh were two other ones that were there. So according to this, there was 4 of the graze skills: foot graze, leg graze, head graze, and arm graze, which would be the stun. Those are all there in the cross classes. So the thing that none of those are built into either Bard or Machinist. It's interesting to see what they'll do with all the freed up space there. Because I sure as fuck am not taking those if I don't have to.
Not taking any of those.
I'll take the physical damage one. That's about it. Yeah, but that's I think that Palisade one is pretty dank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is? Oh, somebody did fucking find out what Addle did. See, all this shit. Like, I don't remember this in the live letter, but somebody translated Addle, and it's basically only the magical half of Virus.
Okay. All right.
So that's one. Somebody did Drain for casters, which is them dealing a little bit of damage and healing themselves. So casters get a little self-heal built into their kit. One of them is a heavy effect. And Diversion is indeed the same as Quelling. Lucid Dreams is a healer and a caster one, which is like a Shroud of Saints. Halves your enmity and refreshes MP.
This is really nice.
I'm curious to see if Black Mages find a use for that in their opener. Because casters have it.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. They might be able to get an extra 5-4 or something.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Ooh.
Ooh. And I like how it says hashtag Raging Strikes Never Forget. And I think that's all the cross rolls. So what's the general consensus here on the cross roll abilities we know so far? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it more the same than the old cross class system? Sly, what do you think?
Better and a little bit of the same. Better so much so that it consolidated a lot of, I guess, like Mary said, filler. It still feels like what we had, just a lot less clutter. Frees up a lot of space for other skills, things like that. Especially for PS4 players. Hashtag
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? They just kept referring to gamepad users the entire live letter, pretty much.
Entire live letter. Like, this shit was for us more than anybody else. Like, most of these decisions probably were.
You want to know what's really weird? I've done over 100 episodes of a Let's Play with a controller. And I almost feel like at times I have better control over the number of buttons I have access to on controller than I do on keyboard and mouse.
Oh, okay.
It's because it's 16 buttons for the face buttons, and then it's 32 buttons just from holding R2. And it's or just from like double tapping R2 or like holding both of them down. And it feels so like accessible that I almost feel like I wish I had that same like ease without having to fucking come up with like an MMO mouse and shift modifiers and control modifiers and all this shit.
Yeah.
I always found gamepad to be so nice that when they keep referencing gamepad, I was like, I don't know they needed that. I don't know if you need to keep calling out gamepad users specifically.
They seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, like for now, even though a lot of these were more like efficient decisions for gamepad users, doesn't take away that we like even without consolidating a lot of skills, we probably still would have gotten used to it anyway.
Well, if they hadn't gotten rid of some skills, that would have been pretty awful.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
We would have found a way, but we would have still been pissed, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Any final words for the cross-roll system before we move on? Final thoughts? I'll open the floor.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what negative things could be said about it, and I'm just coming up blank. Like, I don't think that anyone could conceivably argue that it's worse than it was before.
To me, it feels like it's starting to step into the territory of almost like talents, you know, a little more like talent tree-esque. And I like that, you know, it gives it, there's a lot more, even if it might be somewhat of an illusion, there's that
well, would
choice.
you prefer them to keep moving that way?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because to me, like, I reckon this is better than talents because you don't have to like keep going back to your class trainer or whatever every 5 minutes every time you're trying to do something.
Well,
different.
I mean, yeah.
You just open a menu and you go, all right, I need this build for this fight, so this is what I'm going to bring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now to take it a step further, they could allow us to save our builds.
Listen, we've wanted things like that for ages. You're ahead of their time, Sly.
Yeah, we don't have the technology yet. PS4 is holding us back.
Hey, you shut your whore mouth.
5.0.
Yeah.
You shut your whore mouth.
One cross roll I neglected to talk about, and it's because we have to talk about it in conjunction with some of the changes to stats, is the healer cross roll. That's why I kind of got your closing thoughts on that, because we're going to transition right into talking about healer changes here. So healers had some cross roll stuff that overlapped with casters. They had sure cast, they had swift cast, protect. As soon as on that list, and then we had a bunch of copies. We had something that looks like Divine Seal with a different color, and I guess I'll refer to that list to see if anyone translated anything.
Yeah, get to the good stuff.
No, they just said that the name of the Divine Seal was Affection, and then Eye for an Eye was still called Eye for an Eye. Whether or not it has the same effect is not apparent. And you had Lucid Dream, and of course you had the Rescue, the pull skill that we mentioned earlier, which thank God is on a 2.5 minute cooldown. Thank God that is on a 2.5 minute cooldown. But the big one people are talking about is Cleric Stance. Sly, what are your arms in the air for?
We did it because
so good.
Here's the thing. Here's Sly's experience of the healer, of pretty much every healer. After every boss. Sly, you're still in Cleric. You forgot.
So what you're saying is you're bad, so this helps.
Yeah. It does. now, like the only difference was Astro. I really didn't give a fuck if I was in Cleric because Astro Cleric really wasn't that bad. But you know, Scholar and White Mage, yeah, fuck that. See, the worst part is I know I hit the Cleric button, but it still doesn't go off, and then I keep healing. And then I look a second.
That happens to a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
Especially that. Actually, I having played on a gamepad, I have that issue a lot more on gamepad than I do on keyboard and mouse for some reason. I don't know why. But you don't have to worry about that anymore. Sly, the good news is it sounds like you want to DPS. You're just afraid of the stance dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Lucky for you, we have a lot of changes here for healers. The big one is that
I'm excited, like I'm actually gonna fucking heal, but I'm not. Okay, keep going.
He's just like, oh, now if I ever do have to do it again for something, I don't look as shit.
Yeah.
All right. Healer's damage will now scale off mind. And Cleric Stance is now a flat damage buff for 15 seconds. Small one. It doesn't reduce healing, doesn't swap stats, just damage.
Where the fuck was this when I was healing?
Asking you to get good at Cleric Stance dancing is what it was doing before. So, Sly, you're really excited about this. I'm going to let you talk about it first because there's two polarizing opinions, and I'm curious which one you'll take. So I'm going to lay both of them in front of you, and then I want you to tell me which one you are. Okay?
Okay.
You looks like you were already ready to answer.
Yeah, pretty much. Go ahead.
There's the concern that this is basically telling healers there's no reason not to DPS because you don't even have to stance anymore. And then there's the option that you don't have to because there's no Cleric Stance dancing and you still can just be the healer you always wanted. Mary.
Fuck them.
I didn't even ask Mary.
Fuck them.
So you think that this is a reason that all healers should consider looking into DPSing or maybe start practicing it?
I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then the small issue of, and this is like a very minute issue of the whole Scholar Summoner thing, especially when I was leveling Scholar and then had to go back and then switch my points into mind to intelligence when I went to Sumner, things like that. Small issue, but yeah, I don't see why anyone from this decision, anyone before this decision didn't DPS. Like that's what got me into trouble most of the time, was I was a fucking DPS healer. But
all right, so with okay, that's your input, Sly.
mm-hmm.
A lot of people aren't going to be happy with that input, but that's why that's why it's called an opinion.
And
opinions are like assholes. We all have them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Unless something went just horribly wrong. But anyway, so Ethys, I'm going to ask you about the other side of the coin.
Okay.
There are healers that, of course, got into healing to do what?
Because they want to heal.
Because they want to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck does that?
Well, a lot of them are saying now that they're sort of seeing that the removal of cleric stance is like a concession that they don't have to DPS anymore. It's sort of like the devs saying, look, yeah, you're right, healers are healers. But the thing with that I say is, well, that's fine. Like do your healing. You don't have to worry about using cleric stance. However, ABC, always be casting. If you're not throwing out heals, throw out some dots. If you're standing there with your thumb up your ass doing nothing, then you're a shit player. So it's like, at least pretend and like overheal, you know what I mean? But like, just be doing something.
Just pretend and overheal. That is not good advice.
No, it's not going to fly. But
It's
I'm just
better
saying
than-
that they kind of had an excuse before, being like, oh, it's kind of difficult to switch forth and back, and you know, cleric stance has got this little cooldown or whatever. So there's like a couple of GCDs here and there where I can't really do anything. But that there are no excuses anymore. You can always be doing something. You always should be. And the thing is, like, if you see a melee DPS just standing next to the boss doing nothing for 3 or 4 GCDs, you're like, what the hell? What the heck is this guy doing? Someone kick this muppet. They're a piece of shit. You see a healer doing it. You see a healer, you know, with their fairy healing, and them with the main tank on slash follow in a dungeon. And it's just like, well, that's just healers. That's why they play the game, because that's how they like to play. And it's like, nope, no more excuses. No more excuses. If you're not always doing something, get out. Go home.
Go home. Well, they're playing from home.
Well, then
In theory.
go out somewhere.
Go back to your house.
And then go home.
Exactly.
Then
And
go
then
back
go
home.
home. Step out and then come back up.
Mary, you're the last one. We haven't gotten. So now we're too deep into the same opinion, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry, go
gonna say
ahead.
one a little bit more elaborate with the ABCs of healing here. Where do you stand?
I've always been of the mind that if you're doing content with, say, strangers in a roulette, it's very, 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 very good etiquette to do your best. You know, as Ethys said, always be casting. If you're just sitting there not doing anything when you could be doing something to make the run go just a little bit faster, I think it's disrespectful, because it's like everybody has a different amount of time to spend playing this game. Some people work really busy days, and maybe they have an hour to unwind playing 14 or whatever. And if the healer's just sitting there with their thumb up their butt,
It's contemptuous.
auto running into the wall, it's like, how about you just throw out a few stones so this goes quicker for the people who maybe don't have as much time to play, you know? It's like, instead they want to sit there and watch Netflix and just, my fairy's got it. Okay.
Listen,
You know,
man,
it's-
in Final Fantasy XI, I could just make macros and then just type to people and learn their life stories during all.
So go and play Final Fantasy 11, you know?
I have been.
That's the
It's,
solution.
it's honestly, it's really hard to play 14 seeing after everything with the live letter to play it and just be like, I need to wait.
I know exactly
I
what
need,
you
to, I
mean.
need to wait a month. Please. Okay.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. DPS healers.
Well, yeah.
But here's the thing: you don't even have to take cleric. If you don't want to take cleric stance, you don't have to, but it's only a minor.
Still fucking take it.
It's still. But here's the thing: it's only a minor DPS increase, and it's not the source of all your damage anymore.
I don't care.
So
Still
I
fucking
could.
take it.
I'm still okay if somebody really feels like they don't trust their duty finder and they feel like they need to take protect. Maybe a boss has a dot, they need a Suna. Maybe they're worried about, MP, so they bring Lucid Dream. Maybe they want to have Swiftcast Raise, so they bring Swiftcast. Maybe they'll be doing big pulls, they want Eye for an Eye. If I could understand needing to coordinate like an 8-man content, only one of you taking cleric stance potentially, but I feel like in 4-man content, it's reasonable to maybe not take cleric stance, but it's also not needed to do that role anymore. You can be fine without it.
I've got a follow-up question for you guys. So with these changes to healer DPS, do you think they're going to be doing less or more DPS than they were doing in cleric stance beforehand?
More.
I think
they're going to be doing more.
I think it depends, because
Slightly more.
when I look at certain, like when I think of a skill like Asylum, assuming it hasn't been changed, that means it's now doing the full damage component and the full healing component.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is like, surely they'd have to adjust that, because otherwise it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're trying to predict the future.
So they're
based
either
on
going to
what
be
it
doing
says now.
slightly less, or they're going to be
Slightly
doing way more. No, because they don't have to like switch and all of those.
I think
kinds
if
of
you
skills.
It's all seamless.
Let's put it this way. If you were to take 5 minutes of a healer DPSing, old healer DPSing with cleric stance on, versus 5 minutes of DPSing without it on, maybe using it as a cooldown, I think that the old would do more. Then that this will be like less overall DPS percentage-wise. But I think that the opportunity to do it so seamlessly
will mean that in a fight you produce more.
It means in a fight, without needing to specifically cater to doing more, you should inherently do more.
See, that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you also have to remember that how much percentage is cleric stance of DPS now? Because it's not 10, so you're losing 5% there. And we don't know the damage formulas. But
we don't know how mine's going to scale exactly.
We don't know how mine's going to scale. There's a lot of talk about like Warrior being nerfed because people saw the numbers on Fellcleave on the stream. But they did say they were redoing all the formulas so that power creep from item level
for
scale.
everyone.
So it's, again, we're trying to judge something now off of a formula that doesn't apply to the future.
Exactly.
So it's still a difficult call to make ultimately. So we're I think I like this. I like this. I DPS in dungeons. Now I will do it even more smooth than it was before, pretty much. Okay, so that was the reason why we save healers. That's not the only thing with stats that happened, but specifically with cleric stance, that's a big thing. Stop smiling.
Why? We're happy.
You're happy.
We're happy boys.
No, I'm happy.
Fuck you.
Some might even say
I'm Merri.
Get out there. Fuck you too.
Donkey. There you go.
Donkey.
I haven't seen the second Shrek movie in a while. I really like whenever people just on Twitter, they just say their names to each other, like in tweets. I just always tweet donkey whenever, because it's great. Salope. Okay, so after Crossroll comes all the job changes plus the preview of Red Mage and Samurai. This is the part where if we actually do every single thing and we sit down and discuss, we will be here forever.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with all the tooltips people have been translating and, the little tidbits that Yoshi P gave us that weren't just from the job action trailer. So, we're going to go around, and I want you each to tell me the job you want to talk about most. And then later, we'll do the job you thought was the most disappointing from what we either heard or was displayed. Is that okay? And then if you guys want, we could just do a quick fact rundown on what we know about the other ones. Because otherwise we'll be here forever. Okay? All right, we good? Is that a good idea?
Sure.
All right. You guys are guests, so I'll go with Ethys and Merri first. Merri, what is the job you were most impressed by?
Samurai.
Okay. Ethys.
Dragoon. Yeah. Surprised.
Sly.
Red Mage.
So two of them are jobs that we know so very little about, and then mine is Paladin was the most impressive for me. So we'll do mine last because it's Paladin, and we'll do Ethys's first because it's a job that's already in the game, and we can kind of discern differences versus first impressions.
Okay.
All right. So what impressed you about Dragoon?
The biggest concern people have been having, seeing like the simplification of roles and removals of redundancies and consolidation and stuff like that is, oh shit, now all of the jobs within each role are going to be more homogenized than before. They're going to feel very, very samey. Now, for me, seeing a Dragoon doing a 5-part combo, right? is just like that. It throws it out the window. It looks completely different. It feels completely different from the other melee or as they have in the past. I reckon that's awesome. I reckon the apparent changes to your Blood of the Dragon management, having it switch to am I allowed to say the name of the ability?
So according to the translations people are reading, there's actually a thread on Reddit that specifically is targeted at Dragoon changes. So I'll pull that up for your resource. Let's see. 4.0 Dragoon skills, thoughts, and speculation. The most upvoted one comes from First Kirby Ever. And he says, from the translations, the new enhanced Blood of the Dragon is called Crimson Blood of the Dragon and is gotten when you get 4 gazes of the first brood.
Okay.
Which is the eyeball.
Yeah. So when you pick up those 4, your Blood of the Dragon changes into what they say, crimson
blood of the dragon. I mean, it's a Japanese to English translation.
Yeah.
A straight,
yeah. And that's well, as you can see in the job trailer, that converts your Gearskogel into something else.
They say in this Reddit thread that it is called Nastrond.
And it is called Nastrond. I was just wondering if I was allowed to say that. So it converts it into Nastrond. It obviously does more damage, and the idea is getting off as many of those as you can before the crimson blood of the dragon runs off. So they've simplified it in some regards, but they've kind of added, new sort of like meta to juggle. But it just really brought, it just really reassured me that simplification is not the same as homogenization, and that Dragoon looks completely different from the other melee DPS. And I think that what we've seen from the other melee DPS, like the same sort of thing applies. So I'm just really, and this is one of the things that really excited me about Dragoon in Heaven's Ward was we're getting 4-part combos. It's sort of stepping away from, it was quite close to Monk in a lot of ways in A Realm Reborn. Here it's stepping even further away. And I was really, really happy about that. And that's what I'm really excited to be playing Dragoon for.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because we haven't touched it, I don't know if we're going to touch on it yet, but the job gauge, specifically for Dragoon, people said that, it's a welcome addition. I personally feel like not that it was redundant, but it was necessary because I felt like keeping track of your BOTD was a simple thing to do.
Well, it is redundant. I mean, technically speaking, it is redundant because you still get your Blood of the Dragon timer. Yeah. And Yoshida made this point that a lot of people that are used to like looking at the numbers and tracking the numbers and the status effects and stuff, they can still do that. They can minimize or hide their job UI if they don't want to use it. It's just, extra information for like peripheral visions for people that, find that useful.
Didn't they say they were still working on the minimalistic thing of it?
They said they're still working on it, but you saw Yoshida in the live letter resizing the job UI. So you could just like make it as small as it can be and just put it down in the corner if you don't want to have to look at it.
I'm only saying that for Dragoon. Maybe for Light Mage 2, I feel like that's another thing. I feel like some of the job gauges are a little more useful than others are just redundant. In my opinion.
Well, I think most of them are redundant. I just don't think it's necessarily a bad thing having like 2 points of reference for the same information.
Yeah, some people keep track of them better visually, and some people would rather stare at their buff bars.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's all I want to get.
I do like of the Dragoon one that it only appears when you got Blood of the Dragon active. I find it frustrating the other ones that are just there all the time. That can get like a little bit sort of cluttered or distracting or whatever. So Dragoon is actually probably my favorite of all of the job gauges.
All right.
Fair enough.
So we'll move to guest number 2, and his is one of the 2 new jobs, the Samurai. So let's recap what we saw about Samurai. We saw the Kenki gauge. I called it Kinky gauge once by accident, and everyone, made creepy faces at me. And then you have the Sen gauges, which are the individual symbols. Now, the Kenki is just used on abilities. I don't think we actually ever saw him expend Kenki on anything, if I recall correctly. But the Sens, we got to see the skill Ei Jutsu. If you watched him play it during the live test, the Ei Jutsu skill was changing icon every time he built a Sen. So it implies that there's different effects depending on how many sens. And he showed him using the 2 sen and the 3 sen. I don't know. We couldn't really glean much else other than what little things we saw in the job trailer. So what do you have to say about what we saw of Samurai?
Where does he start?
It's not so much where do I start. It's
where do you stop?
Where do I
exactly.
stop?
Yeah.
It seems to have good flow. I like the idea of having like a resource gauge and then something that just kind of inherently builds alongside it to a lesser extent. You know, it's not so extreme in the form of the sen.
Well,
like just kind of as you go through your rotation.
So people translate. Oh no, Sly, you had a question? Go for it.
No, go ahead.
No, because I don't know how long this point will take, and it might get lost if you don't make the point now.
Well, with Samurai, I was kind of impressed but worried at the same time. Worried mainly that this would be one of the, in terms of the new jobs, this would be the worst / harder to min max than Red Mage. Especially it being, and I hate to call it a caster melee. It's
got cast times.
It does have cast times.
So
if you want to speak literally, it's a cast melee.
And that makes it kind of off-putting. But then again, this is one of those slow yet big numbers kind of jobs, kind of like what Goon is, really. And looking at this, it kind of solidified what I thought when we had this conversation last about Samurai, what I thought it would be to go in terms of it being the least mobile melee DPS. Not in terms of just regular raw movement, because looking at the Samurai run,
a lot of people are speculating at the moment the fact that it is lower mobility, the fact that it hits quite slowly, like it flows slower than Dragoon does, in my opinion, and it doesn't seem to have a whole bunch of utility or like raid synergy tools. So people are starting to suspect that it might be like the new monk, you know, as in like big dick DPS, and that is its utility. But I think you're right that it does look like it's going to be quite hard to master, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that's
sorry, Mary. My question to you, in terms of a new job, do you think that it's, I'm gonna say a bit complex, but yeah, like let's call it a bit complex, because I feel like right now this is gonna, and this is my opinion, I think that it's going to get the same treatment as Astro did when it first came out. People are really drinking the Kool-Aid right now, and then we actually get our hands on it, and people, you know, get into raid content, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And get into Omega, and people are saying, "This is a fucking shit job." I mean, what do you think? Do
you think Samurai's gonna be our machinist Astro?
Yeah, that's exactly
okay.
It's really hard to judge that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I wish I could, you know.
I know.
I wish I had more to say, but
you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
It's too difficult.
Okay.
It's too difficult to.
Well, okay. Let's back this up with some information people have.
You've seen where the Kool-Aid is made. That's his problem.
Yeah.
That's a really weird way to put it. So there's only been 5 or 6 abilities that have had tooltips translated. One of them being Mako Shisui, which is basically
Mako Shisui.
Yeah, so a lot of these are, that's not how you pronounce it. So a lot of these abilities, when I'm reading the names and when I see the animations, seem very Final Fantasy XI inspired. Like they knew Final Fantasy XI players wanted Samurai, and they put in a lot of elements that remind people of it. For example, one of their abilities specifically opens up the Getsu no Sen, which is one of their Sen gauges. It's the Getsu Sen gauge. Mako Shisui allows you to use weapon skill combos and make them succeed regardless of where you are in the combo. Which think of it like perfect balance, where if you were to use snap punch and you'd get snap punches even though you didn't actually do the thing. So that, and considering you get 3 weapon skills and there's 3 sens, like this. This is a perfect reminder to me of Final Fantasy. Like when I hear that, I just think of a self skill chain from Final Fantasy 11. I think of putting everything together and then ending with that big, crazy, strong attack. And then people pointed out that Madare Setsugeka, which is not how you pronounce that again, and is the translated name for having 3 sens. That's the 3 sen ability. People recognize that it had a physical potency of 720.
Again, please look forward to
Please
it.
look forward to that because that's subject
That's
to change.
quite, yeah.
But that is, and it has a 1.56, well, that was with skill speed. So it says that the base was 1.8 second cast time. That's insane. I would like to point out that Black Mage's new foul ability is currently set at 650, although that's AoE, so that's ridiculous. So AoE with the holy fall off. That is insane.
And they get to use it like quite often.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see how quickly he generates sends naturally.
Yeah.
Like we see him generates 2 sends and I think 5 weapon skills. He did that in. So anywhere from 7 to 8 weapon skills for 3 sends, you'd have to assume. And we saw that they had the slashing debuff also. We saw what looked to be Yukikaze. It was the exact same animation from 11 where he like hits the ice and breaks it. That had slashing debuff, which those are still here. Yeah, those are still here.
Yeah.
It had, and then there's a few other translated ones. One that cost some Kenki that just did a bunch of physical damage. One that was an AoE that cost Kenki, and then a few other, like one of those fall off AoEs. And the fall off AoE required. It says it doesn't say whether or not it requires Sen, but it had a cast time and it dealt fall off AoE damage like Holy and Flare. I don't know. I see a lot. Like you said, I see a lot of damage potential. I see the slashing, but I've yet to see something that gives it value to the rest of the team other than slashing buff. So I kind of get where that.
That's why you've got to assume that the utility is going to be the big dick DPS.
Yeah, or we could just assume that we haven't seen everything yet.
Let's assume that.
Let's assume that.
Yeah.
Let's assume that.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one we had was you, Sly, with Red Mage.
Yeah, between this and Sam, I thought Red Mage was one of the more accessible of the two, especially to new players, and would probably be easier to min-max for vets. The whole balancing black and white mana, it kind of adds a certain aspect that, copy paste this to Black Mage, it would have fit in perfectly. Would have loved to see them demo a little bit more of the melee aspect, because the only real thing that they touched on was the chain spell, reducing or casting a spell instantly for doing
you cast a spell and then you instant cast a spell, basically, right after.
Yeah.
So the only thing we do see about the melee is we see them expend black and white mana to, use the melee attacks for whatever.
Yeah.
And for this to be a hybrid class, they didn't really show off enough of the melee.
They've never called it a hybrid.
It's not.
class.
Well, they said they considered calling it a hybrid, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's first and foremost a DPS. But a lot of people hold the high expectation that Red Mage will have a lot of utilities. That is a community expectation. Whether or not it's jaded because of previous Final Fantasies is, kind of a moot point. I would like to point out that one of their tooltip translated skills that I'm pulling off of Reddit is Embolden, which increases magic damage dealt by a large amount that decreases every 4 seconds, and then for nearby party members buffs their physical damage dealt by a percentage that decreases every few seconds. So you wanted utility, you got something at the very
Double
least.
melee Red Mage.
Double melee Red Mage.
Hashtag delete Black Mage.
Hashtag delete Black Mage, boys. You heard it. This is where it starts. This is where it starts.
I'm calling it like every Black Mage is going to switch to Red Mage.
Pretty much.
So the way they describe Chain Spell is it's almost like every other spell you'll get it. Because they said every time you have a cast bar, the next spell will be instant. So they don't really talk about Swift Cast. I think we see them use Swift Cast in the job action trailer and then do a spell and then a chain spell. So I don't know if that changes it. I guess if the spell is chain spell, it just can't proc chain spell is kind of what to take. But then through Reddit, we can see they have like a thunder spell, an arrow spell, a fire spell, a stone spell. And they all kind of work in conjunction where when some of them have insanely long cast times. And the idea is to not have to hard cast those so that you can, and to use your instant cast on those. And then sometimes those proc shorter cast time spells that can then give you another proc that allow you to just kind of move through your black and white mana back and forth as you raise the bar, in a sense. Does this concept of bouncing back and forth and raising the bar simultaneously, do you think that that encourages a high skill ceiling, or do you think that it's going to be a pretty streamlined experience?
I think it's going to be pretty streamlined. I mean, that's something you could have put on Black Mage. It's they fucking already do anyway, unless you're an Ice Mage. But yeah, it's something.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes
right?
sense. Balancing fire and ice form in a sense, where you go from fire to ice.
Yeah. And they said at the beginning of The Realm Reborn that they were expecting Black Mage to be like quite a difficult job to muster, precisely because of that. But if you just follow the rotation, you naturally switch between those two. And I think it's going to be the same with Red Mage, is that if you're doing your rotation right, you're naturally going to build those at a fairly steady rate. What I'm really interested to see with Swift Cast on Red Mage is if you can use it to proc a chain spell. So you can do a short cast.
If you look at the job action trailer, I'm almost positive that they do.
Because that sounds ridiculous. So you use a short spell to chain to an instant cast on one of your big spells, and then you'd swift cast another big spell, which would proc an instant cast on yet another big spell. So you'd basically be chaining like three massive explosions in a row. It looks crazy. It looks like a lot of fun.
Do you think it captured the essence of what you'd expect a Red Mage to kind of be, foregoing the idea of a hybrid?
I think it captures it as well as you could in Final Fantasy XIV. I just like that they did it. Again, as I was talking about before with the whole homogeneity issue or whatever, I just really, really like that Red Mage is casting in a different way and sort of handling resources in a completely different way to the other casters so far. I just think that's like super reassuring. It's very, very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, my favorite, and by the way, the chat's very offended by Summoner. Let me just be clear that because none of us picked Summoner, it's not that we weren't impressed by it. It's that for me at least, with Summoner, it had the highest shock value.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what actually kind of happened.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, we saw the Bahamut, but after that, it was never spoken about for the rest of the live letter. We could only glean what we.
I think they said they were going to touch on it, and then they had like a little less time too, so they didn't get a chance to go back to it.
Yeah, because I was most impressed by that.
Mm-hmm.
But without more context or information, I will reserve my judgment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, back to you. You were interested in the Tenchi Muyo job, right? Go ahead.
Paladin?
Yeah.
Is that a Tenchi Muyo job?
Lighthawk wings, dude.
Okay.
They get Lighthawk wings.
You're such a fucking anime nerd.
Weeb.
Yeah,
No, I had this discussion with my stream the other day about weeb versus non-weeb. I was like, yeah, I was like, you're not a weeb for liking anime. You're not a weeb for liking Naruto. What makes you a weeb is when you go out back with the headband on and run around with your arms behind. That's the element that pushes you over.
That's the line.
And there's an age gap there too. Like if you're 8 years old and you're watching Naruto, yeah, go out and do that. Nothing, that's the cartoon that you watch.
Do you imagine that, just like leaning over your backyard fence and seeing some 8-year-old kid running around with a Dorito scarf and being like, "Fucking weeb!" Fucking loser! Get a job.
We call those get a job. we call those people bullies, Ethys.
Oh shit. We call them mates.
Oh my god.
Go on.
So Paladin for me was most impressive. Because they literally said, okay, what was every complaint you guys had? Here you go.
Yeah.
So
now, good.
No. You were gonna make a point. Make the point.
No, I was gonna ask you a question. Now, are you looking at it? Are you looking at it from a there's no way to go but up kind of perspective.
Yeah. They couldn't
that
get
what-
worse.
Yeah, it couldn't really get worse. Are you looking at it at that, or was it just that good?
No, I was glad that I didn't expect these changes. I was actually genuinely surprised.
Mhm.
So Shield Oath being level 30, as much as I feel like that's something they could have done so long ago that for them to do it in an expansion, I almost didn't think they were gonna do it, because like you couldn't have just switched those at some fucking point. Just make the reward different at the end of the quest or something. Block working on both physical and magical, which was one of
So good.
the most
Praise God.
needed things.
So
the
good.
number one complaint is Bulwark, Sheltron, and your entire shield is useless against bosses.
But I mean, as a paladin, like conceptually, why would you not be able to block magic damage?
I don't know,
You're a holy knight.
Ask the benchmark trailer for 3.0 where he blocks the Nidhogg fireball.
Yeah, and then they're like, nah, just kidding.
Royal Authority comboed off Riot Blade as opposed to Savage Blade, which I hated that it was off their enmity combo. The increased value of all their cooldowns that they had before, assuming they still have them. That single target nuke spell, something offensive to use their MP on, which gives them a greater value. There's no value in just sitting at max MP. You can choose between the clemency, which people saw in the hotbars, and you can choose between the offense, which I think is, again, people wanted Paladin to have more offensive tools to meet the DPS of Dark Knight and Warrior in a sense. And this seems designed with that in mind. AoE weapon skill, which, according to somebody's tooltip translation, doesn't generate enmity, so it might just be an AoE DPS tool. And of course, Passage of Arms.
Like Hawk Wings. Go ahead.
100% block rate, so it's a third blocking cooldown that they have, 2 of which give you the 100% block. And everyone standing behind you takes 15% less damage. I'm thinking of this, and I'm looking at things like Scholar that are known for their mitigation, like things like Sacred Soil and whatnot, and I'm seeing, maybe people don't necessarily have to bring those things for their mitigation tools if you're bringing a Paladin. It opens up the opportunity to not just be like, well, we need the shield, so we have to bring this. We need the mitigation. And then all of a sudden you have a little bit more flexibility. Of course, people are still going to go full meta and figure out what's best and what you should always bring. But I like this sort of flexibility here to be that almighty protector.
But we haven't seen a Paladin gap closer yet. Don't you think that if they don't get one, that everyone's just going to ignore all that good stuff about Paladin and just make memes about it anyway?
People will make memes about it. I mean,
they're going to hate on it really hard if it doesn't get a gap closer.
We didn't see Monk get a ranged skill either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, shoulder tackle is like your ranged skill. You are the projectile.
I just can't help but feel like if Paladin doesn't get a shoulder tackle or some equivalent, some gap closer, everyone's just going to ignore all that shit about it and just shit all over Paladin.
I'd also like to point out we only actually saw... No, we saw 2 new abilities. We only saw 2 new abilities. So I feel like there's probably something we also don't know about it yet. But we also saw one ability. Someone translated a tooltip of one of the new abilities. I guess with the AoE we saw 3. So maybe the AoE is the third one. It's I don't know. But it was one where it does a more damage the more MP you have off global cooldown, and it gives you like a damage buff. It gives you a damage and healing buff if you're above, if you're near max mana when you use it. Which, more damage, a damage buff, and I'm down. I like it. I don't know. I saw all that and I went, you know what? I'm really happy for Paladins right now.
Oh, I'm stoked.
It was the only way you can go is up a little bit. Just a tad bit.
Yeah. So
I could have just deleted it. You could have been like, well... Whoops. Fuck that one up.
Whoops.
Yeah. Like they're doing with Black Mage. Haven't you heard? Deleting Black Mage. Hashtag delete Black Mage.
Hashtag delete Black Mage. Yeah. I just think of all the practical uses for Passage of Arms. It makes me happy. I think of like a tank buster that has to be split between both tanks. I think of using big boss attacks. I see a lot of practical uses for it. And so that's the big thing, is they had no practical uses for so many abilities before. So I'm excited. I was really happy for Paladins, personally. Now, we're going to do the same thing we just did. And we're going to cover most disappointed.
Oh, shit.
Wow, Mary's really excited about
I'm
this.
ready. Well, because it'll segue really well.
Okay, so
my least favorite was Paladin.
Oh, shit.
we'll probably get to that first, but let's hear all the
Oh,
other.
dang.
Let's hear all the other
Yeah.
least favorites too. Ethys,
White Mage.
Sly.
Machinist.
That shocks me. That shocks me. I loved the Machinist. It wasn't my favorite because we're doing polar opposites here, but I loved it. I loved seeing it, especially when we talk about Bard and Machinist in general, because there is one thing we need to hit upon with those. For me, my least, it was a tie between Dark Knight and White Mage. I had a really tough time deciding when I looked back at it. But I'm ultimately going to go with White Mage as well. So Mary gets to tell me why my opinion is shit. We get to talk about White Mage, and then we get to hear why Sly wasn't impressed by Machinist. Let's do it in that order, exactly.
Sounds good. So don't get me wrong. The points you made, completely valid. It was stuff that was absolutely necessary. But what I dislike about Paladin didn't change. And that's the core of how it functions.
Now, would you like to go into a deeper elaboration on that?
So for me, Paladin has always just been boring, not because, not because it uses all these defensive cooldowns, but because its offensive capabilities are so bare bones. Like you have a hate combo, you have a dot, and then you have a damage combo. And nothing really happens. You just use them. They don't do anything. They just do damage or enmity. And that's it. There's no unique mechanic tied to them. Whereas Warrior has stacks.
Got their oath gauge, man. And
I
Warrior
guess,
doesn't have stacks. Warrior has the
you know what I mean.
Beast thing now.
You know what I mean.
The gauges are the same.
You don't think the oath gauge makes up for that at all?
I mean, unless the oath gauge winds up tying into crazy offensive abilities that are really satisfying to use, I feel like it's just still not going to scratch the itch.
So I feel it sounds like ultimately you don't like pure tanks. That's not your fantasy.
I guess.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
And
in
B,
this game,
you can't beat God knows how many Felcleaves. and C, you're so head over heels about Samurai. Who gives a shit?
a little bit of everything, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is it's in a game like 14, just the idea of a pure tank is not appealing to me as a min-maxer.
I can understand that too, because I think of a lot of fights where people just use the bare minimum mitigations to get through and then push as high as DPS as possible. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about that, then we had some analysis on your warrior, the little warrior that you had. We noticed that the slashing debuff was moved to maim. I was a personal buff, and Path didn't have anything but the heal and extra beast gauge at this point. So where are you going to get that 10% damage mitigation now on the warrior?
Right.
Where are you going to
You have
get
to get it from your paladin. Oh shit.
Or reprisal.
For 5 seconds. There you go. Okay, yeah. Well, I get what you're saying though. It's not your style, and there's no guarantee that all those defensive capabilities are even necessary for what the challenges that are to come.
Yeah. It'll be great for people who are, maybe a little more hesitant or, not so confident in just going balls to the wall DPS. But for someone like me who's all about the min-maxing and big dick DPS, not for me.
So Paladin's great if you're a little bitch, is what you're saying, basically.
I'm gonna play Paladin after I level everything else, and then
I'm sorry, Paladins. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna play Paladin, and I'm gonna go have everyone else stand behind me. I'm gonna tell the fucking healer to pull you out of the fucking passage of arms, just because I don't fucking want you in it.
Fine. I'll heal myself up. Equilibrium.
There you go. All right. Okay, so then we have White Mage, the other one least impressed. And this, I think you and I agree that I just didn't learn anything about White Mage.
Yeah, there's just nothing to see. Like, oh, White Mage. Oh, cool. What's that? Is that a new heal? What does that do? I don't know. Look, he's doing another heal. He's healing. It's the White Mage. Okay, all right, next.
So let's go over we know one definitive thing about White Mage. Two definitive things. According to the hotbars that we saw and the flower.
Flowers.
We didn't see Stone Skin anywhere on the hotbar. And it wasn't in the crossroad.
No.
To be fair, I didn't like Stone Skin before anyway. It was a long cast, it was obnoxious, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. It was just a free hit at the beginning of the fight, pretty much. But to the lilies, as they were called, the description we got of the lilies are, you can expend them to place barriers on party members, which then leaves the concern of overlapping or not stacking with scholar ones, which is unconfirmed. They just said it was barriers. They didn't mention exact specifics. And the other thing it did was it has a chance to reduce the cooldown of skills. That was the other thing.
It just sounds like a shitty ether flow.
I wasn't excited at all.
No.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see something that makes it compete with a fucking AoE balance. That's for fucking certain. Or with the DPS capabilities of a scholar. Granted, those could change, but you know.
I think y'all being a little bit jaded.
But what's jaded about it? There's just nothing. There's nothing there. I can't
graphically. Okay, graphically, there was nothing there. I'll admit that. I'll admit that wholeheartedly. It didn't look impressive in terms of what it did. Two, I think the job gauge fucking sucks. Like it's probably one of the worst ones. It's probably one of the worst ones. They could have had a better, more intuitive job gauge. But yeah, I think it sucks.
You know what someone in the chat pointed out? It doesn't help that it had to follow up Summoner in the job in the job video.
That's kind of fucked up too. But they did say like its role as a pure healer, which really doesn't tickle my fancy to begin with because I'm a DPS healer, bolstered. And like I still think that as it stands in terms of a pure raw healer, it's still number 2 to Scholar, and then number 3 would be Astro. Like I think with everything they said about White Mage, had it had this much utility when I was leveling it, I would have liked it a little bit more than I currently like it. So I'm not that down on it. It just didn't look impressive.
That's why it was the most disappointing for me. Because
there was nothing to stick my teeth into.
Yeah,
I'm not like, wow, they got this. And the most exciting thing about the White Mage thing in the job was them using Rescue, which is cross-roll.
Yeah, exactly. Not White Mage. Yeah.
The Black Mage is like, fuck you, I'm going back. Immediately.
But I think the majority of the quote unquote hype or lack thereof for you that you got out of it was from the information itself.
They just didn't talk about it the whole live letter. They said the lilies thing and they moved on.
Yeah.
They really should have spent more time talking about like White Mage other than pure healer and lilies. I know, exactly. That's how pathetic it is. You just laugh about it when you just start
healing flower.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. All right, and Sly, I am surprised because I loved how this looked visually, but you said Machinist was your least.
It looks pretty. Y'all are so fucking hung up on looks. It looks pretty. It's the only thing.
You don't like all the explosions.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Yay! It's no longer a standing turret. Good.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up, did we? Machinist and Bard don't have cast times anymore. That's pretty important.
Yeah. News. One thing, lowering the ammo, because
people have been really hung up on that. On 3 ammo versus 5.
It might not be as big of a thing as it will be, but yeah, like lowering it from 5 to 3. Like I remember the good old 5 ammo opener and how bursty that fucking shit was, and kind of makes me a little bit worried about their openers. And if
they had so many explosions.
The machinist opener was ridiculous, though. It needed to be consolidated in some way, surely.
My biggest thing when I'm thinking of the machinist openers, I think of the ranged cross roll, and how there's no blood for blood internal release, raging. Well, yeah, no raging strike. So either it has raging built in, or it just doesn't have all these like buff stacks that they used to have before.
Isn't that a relief though? Like machinist, particularly in the opener, is just so fucking stressful. It's like, oh, now I gotta shit,
buttons and
you push all the buttons.
It feels really good when you figure it out, though.
Oh, it feels good when you figure it out, but it's still stressful as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first when I was learning it was fucking stressful. When you figure it out and you're hitting like really fucking big dick wildfires and shit. Yeah. I love it.
So okay, I gotta ask you something. I can't even. I don't want to hear the ammo thing. I want to hear what the other gauge.
The flame, the heat gauge.
The heat gauge.
That to me seems weird.
What's weird about it? Because I've played a lot of games that have a gauge that's similar, and I can already kind of begin to speculate how it works, especially because one of the images they show us is of the filled heat gauge and a countdown timer.
Right.
So generally, when anything that has a heat, it can overheat, and it's just a question of whether overheating is good or bad.
Bad. That's
generally there's a good part and a bad part whenever I see overheating in another game.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that there's going to be kind of like a buff debuff kind of thing with it. So you'll get something for it, but at the same time you'll have a lack thereof of something once it fills up. And a whole flamethrower.
That thing's so cool.
It looks so cool. Where the fuck are you gonna use it?
I don't know. It looked like he was building heat with it, so it might be a heat building tool.
Yeah.
And honestly, if that's single target, I'm gonna punch someone in the face.
There's no way to go.
Like I just want to go into the forest and just like go to a tree and just be like.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that's single target. Sorry.
I wonder if there's any machinist stuff on that translation thing. No, I don't see any. Unfortunate.
And then the analyze skill. Now, when we talk about analyze skills, and I think there was another job who had
Scholar.
sort of like scholar, yeah. When we talk about analyze skills, are these strictly quote unquote analysis skills, or do they add a buff, debuff, or anything like that? Like, what do you mean by an analyze?
So one key difference between the scholar and the machinist analyze, the scholar had something appear around its target. The machinist one just appeared around the machinist. And I gotta watch it again and see if anything else happens. But that alone, those two key differences lead me to believe that's one is for yourself and one is something for the opponent. Let me see if there's anything else that's noticeable about it, because I felt like I couldn't really pull anything from the scholar one either. So I'm wondering if I just missed something with the machinist one overall. Oh God. All right. Sorry. I really gotta contact Square Enix real quick about their SEO, because when I look up job action FFXIV job action trailer, I get my video, and then I get somebody else uploading the job action trailer, and then I get the Heavensward job action trailer, and then I get the regular Final Fantasy XIV job action trailer, and then I get the trailer for the movie On the Job.
Oh
wow!
And all of this pops up before the fucking actual Stormblood the Stormblood one. There's some SEO that needs to be improved there. Because that's not how search engine optimization is supposed to work. Where is Machinist in this one? Is it I don't know where Machinist even is on this one. There's Astro, there's Machinist. Yeah, I don't see anything. He uses an ability that reduces his heat by 25. So the only thing that happens when he uses that analyze skill is he goes from 45 heat to 50 heat in the job action trailer. So take that how you will. It adds heat. Maybe I doubt it's give me 5 heat. That would be fucking
That would be
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But in general, just in terms of the range classes, I always felt that Bard is the better class in terms of a ranged DPS.
But it seems once again that they've made them even more distinct from one another, doesn't it?
And
Yes.
Bard, I feel like Bard is more distinctly the support DPS, and Machinist has a little bit of support in it, but I still think
In terms of like the fantasy that what you think of, like when you think of a machinist, you don't think of I'm supporting the team. You think of I've got big fucking guns. Let's go, boys.
yeah, it's a big dick kind of range DPS number.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
I get that because everyone was so upset that Bard was an archer and not the Bard.
But the thing is, Bard is a kind of a big dick support DPS thing, and you still get big dick numbers with it.
It's the strongest DPS in the game right now.
Exactly.
It's
And it's a support
ridiculous.
class. It's a support ranged. It has more utility and big dick numbers. It's a better ranged.
So just a sort of tangential question here for you, Sly. Is there any job that you do not think has a big dick? Because you're talking about everyone having big dicks, and I'm like, well, if everyone's got a big dick, then nobody's got a big dick, right? Yeah.
That's so many men have tried to use that as a fucking reasoning or an excuse of some kind.
Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah, we'll go with
You think Dark Knight's got a baby dick?
Yeah, Dark Knight's got a small one.
All right, there you go. That's a lot of people agree with you after how underwhelming their performance was here too. One thing that's brought up about the machinist one, there's nothing. It was like White Mage. I didn't figure anything out from what they did.
It was a little bit better than White Mage. I'll agree, but go ahead.
What's it called? The one thing people are talking about in machinist is the turret never appears in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. He never. I'm watching it right now. He puts like there are machinery type things, but I'm watching it right now, and I'll take you through what I see. He puts on Gauss Barrel, and the heat gauge appears. He starts blowing the flamethrower, and he builds 10 heat gauge every like second or so. He stops it. He shoots a couple times. He does a fucking spread shot on a single target like a scrub. He blows 25 heat gauge. He does this giant like AoE thing, like it's like a barrier around him, and then it shoots a giant AoE. He does the analyze skill. He reloads. He uses all 3 ammo without his heat gauge going up. He puts a wildfire on the target, and then it explodes. We don't see a single. We don't see the turret anywhere. I thought the wildfire was the turret. It's just him attaching the wildfire bomb to it.
Did we not see turrets in the a turret in the benchmark? I feel like we did.
I don't remember. He was too busy flamethrowering because all you see is that little drive-by of him flamethrowing.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to think whether there was a turret next to him, and I think there might have been, but
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm at a section there.
Yeah, so we don't see a turret there, which would be weird because I feel like that actually takes away from Machinist's identity a little bit. So we'll have to see if they just didn't put it in the trick because they said that just because they don't use it doesn't mean it's not there.
yeah,
So we'll have to wait and see.
it's true. But they might have their hands full with the heat gauge. The turret, they might have decided was just like too much to handle on top of it.
Or it doesn't interact with the heat, and that's what they wanted to show. Mostly is how like the UI elements work.
503.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the purpose of the job trailer did seem to be most about like showing off the UI elements.
No,
more
that's
than anything else.
wildfire, Sly. That's what it looks like when you attach a wildfire.
No, right before though. Like
No, that I'm telling you that's
That's how you deliver the
that
wildfire.
is what wildfire
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's you attaching the wildfire bomb.
yeah, because you're delivering a TNT thing package to the target.
Yeah.
So it's like a little drone that does it.
No, I thought the same thing too because I forgot that because I play with my animations off, so I always forget what wildfire looks like. But yeah, I double
me
checked.
too.
That's wildfire. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's wildfire. But yeah, we just don't see it there. I would like to talk about Bard though. I know I said we just wanted to do job we like most, job we like least, but Bard and Machinists losing their cast times is kind of important. I watched this version of Bard, and I feel like that's a Bard. First and foremost, we were just talking about how it felt like an archer and not a Bard before. Everything I see here, I don't even know what it does, but
So bad.
Was it the songs that like the use of songs
So
and how they?
the very first thing it does is we see the flute skill and it just sings a song. We don't know what that does.
Got a little twitch there.
Yeah. We see what looks like an upgraded wind bite and venomous bite, or new animations for them. But what the most interesting is, he uses the song on the target.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how songs work. He uses ballad on the enemy, and then gets this little song gauge right here.
So you're thinking that they've done a complete rework of all the songs? Is that what might be happening?
I mean, he moves through them like seamlessly.
Yeah.
They're all instant. They're all on a target.
Yeah. It almost seems like they're totally different.
Do you think
Music.
Do you think the ticks on the job gauge have something to do with that?
So the ballad doesn't have anything special on it. You see him do a bloodletter, and then he does an imperial, and then he does another bloodletter. So he got a bloodletter proc there, whatever. And then he does Paeon, and he gets these little musical notes at the bottom. And those just kind of build up over time. There's nothing to really discern what's building them. He uses Iron Jaws, and what else? He uses, what's the name? Sidewinder, I think that's the one that does the dots. It's been a while.
Oh, no. That's Iron Jaws, right?
No, Iron Jaws is the one that resets
Iron
the
Jaws
dots.
refreshes.
Sidewinder is the one that does more damage when you have
Oh,
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Uses another song ability where like a giant AoE pulses out, which reminds me of the Machinist one, by the way. It's very similar in nature to the Machinist one.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're talking about when he does Wanderers and.
Well, he does Paeon, and then he does Iron Jaws, he does Sidewinder, and then he does like a giant AoE where just before they're playing the flute and dancing around, and it creates like a giant barrier in a circle.
Okay.
We also don't see foes anywhere, and I think people said when he switched to Bard in the live letter, they didn't see foes on his hotbar either. So that's something to keep in mind. And then when he has like 2 stacks, he shoots a heavy shot, and then he switches to Minuet, and everyone's like, okay, here's where the cast times are, right? And no. He's got 3 stacks at the bottom that are in the shape of an arrow this time. And he does a new attack, the one that we see in the benchmark trailer where all the arrows are all over the place. And then he expends one of his stacks to do an attack. It disappears. It comes right back immediately, and then it ends. I don't know. I see this, and I look at the dancing between the songs, and I see more of the song animations. And without even knowing what they do, I look at this, and while it still has a bow, it's very Bard reminiscent. And that makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're spending a lot of time
Definitely.
doing like bardy things and switching between songs rather than just like, hey, here's a song, set it and just like leave it and forget it, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
It seems more like a actual Bard than it does an archer or a ranger.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope to see that this pays out when we actually get more information on it, because it would really suck if it looks that way and it's just because they wanted to chain use them back to back to back just for the sake of showing them all.
Yeah.
So it may not be like as intricate as it seems here, but if it's more song centric, I will be a very, very happy person. I would honestly, I'll play Bard again if that ends up being what it's like. I'm down. And I fucking hate playing Bard because I was forced into it for so many years.
It's so much better than Machinist, though.
Now it is. Right now it is. Okay. So those are the, I guess, the like 7 or 8 jobs we'll talk about. There obviously are 7 or 8 others. I don't know how many we covered exactly. I wasn't counting. But if we're here to talk about all of them, we'll be here for fucking ever. Monk got raid utility. Astro can pick their cards. And
I'm surprised you didn't do the whole 2 monks thing.
there were 2 monks also in the job action trailer. Astro has a UI to keep track of their cards and their buffs. They pulled the Lord and the Lady. We got to see those each used. Lady looked like they cast it on an ally. Lord looks like they casted it on an enemy. They put a star down that exploded eventually, and that thing looked badass. Black Mage, I don't know what the fuck is going on, because they got Umbral Hearts. They got a Pog Blot, or whatever the fuck it's called, this stack that they get every 30 seconds from Enochian. They've got, I don't know. They've got, like, I was most confused by their UI. I just don't know what I saw. They got triple cast. That's badass. Thunder. They got AoE Thunder. And Enochian's permanent, so enjoy. White Mage, no one gives a shit. They got Pure 4. Stone 4.
Stone 4.
Stone 4. Summoner got Bahamut, badass. I want to see more. Warrior, many Felcleaves. Please handle it. That's it. Just Felcleave. Ninja was really confusing.
You think so?
So
I agree.
I broke down. Uses Huton. Shikuchi's forward. Uses Raiton and the frog. Actually, I forgot an action. Uses Huton. Hides. Then uses
let's go this one, huh?
and then uses Shikuchi. And then within like 8 seconds uses Raiton after using Huton. So like within 8 seconds. So either ninjutsus are way faster now, or Hide reset the cooldown, or Shikuchi reset the cooldown. I would be okay if in like dungeons, Hide reset your ninjutsu cooldown. I would love that just for dungeons. It has no applicable like in combat use unless Hide works in combat. But I would love that.
Did Hyde do anything for? Let me go back to it. Did
No.
he do anything for the gauge? Nothing.
No, he started with a full gauge though, so it was like he kind of cheated. The frog used gauge. Then he Shikuchi'd again, like another 8 seconds later. Then he was just building gauge. Shadowfang was part of a 3-part combo now instead of a 2-part combo. And then he dropped ley lines. This is the thing I analyzed the most. Is the ninja dropped the ley lines. I have had people dissect the order of the mudras he used, and we have come to a conclusion. So I keep forgetting to write down the order of the mudras. But he basically goes mudra, fuma, mudra, katan, mudra, suitan.
Yeah.
And we've analyzed the order of the mudras, and the first mudra that he uses before the fuma and the second mudra he uses after make a katan. And then the third one is Jin, because all Suiton ones end in Jin, and that makes the Suiton. So it's like it's remembering the mudras as he's going through them. So he does like a 1-part mudra, a 2-part mudra, and a 3-part mudra, but he just has to go mudra ninjutsu, mudra ninjutsu, mudra ninjutsu. That's
I concur with that.
That's fucking badass. Now my only question is, am I allowed to use a weapon skill between that, or am I just a fucking machine gun ninjutsu freak during all of that? That was badass. I hope that's how it ends up going, because that was that's a badass way. That's no forbidden mudra, but that's badass. I love it. It's like a ninja chain spell.
Yeah, basically.
Scholar had a tether that used gauge and the fucking scan thing, which is from Final Fantasy III for scholars, mind you. Dark Knight was just as unimpressive as White Mage. They used some gauge. Blood Weapon built some gauge. They swung their sword sideways. They swung it vertically.
Sweet, dude.
Sideways.
Whoa.
No way, bro.
And there you go.
We haven't done that before.
Dicks, man.
It's raining sideways.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Yeah. So I hope that's what it actually ends up being called, by the way, is Libra. Because that's what it's called in Final Fantasy III for scholars. I wonder... So in Final Fantasy III, you used it to discover enemy weaknesses, but enemies don't have weaknesses in this game, so I don't know. Okay.
Maybe that's just because we haven't discovered them.
Yeah, exactly. Break the horn off Ifrit. Anyway, that's a 1.0 mechanic, by the way.
Stop his regen.
You had to break his
Oh my
horns.
God.
Yeah. And if you could punch the head off of a skeleton to get an eye patch. I'm just saying. That's like, of the two things 1.0 did well, like story
Punching
music
skeletons in the
and
head.
punching skeletons in the head. What's that? So the next thing we get into is sub-attributes. Sly. We haven't even started talking about it yet.
Oh, man.
Sly is immediately entertained by this.
It's funny.
What you got for us, Sly?
Sly, why don't you talk about it, Sly?
It's funny because it's true.
Well, we know it's true.
What's true?
It's confirmed.
Yeah, there are indeed sub-attributes.
Yes. Yeah, so y'all remember Parry, right? That good old attribute.
Yeah, everyone loves that stat. No one's ever had a problem
Yeah,
with that.
I stack it.
Put it on. I wish I could put only parry on my animal weapon as a monk.
Yeah, so
I melted in all my gear.
So that's gone now.
Well, I mean, it's not gone. We can
The
still
stat is gone.
The stat is gone. It is replaced by tenacity, better stat that raises damage
Impossible that it's better.
No such.
Can't
They're
be better
making, a
than
huge,
Perry.
they're making a huge mistake here.
They're going to destroy this game.
Raises damage and reduces damage received, and that is only applied to tank gear.
Mm-hmm.
Now that like you said, parry's not gone in general. Like you can still parry.
Yeah.
I'm guessing like so you can like King Flurry will still have like you will still parry shit, but
Yeah.
as a spell.
Yeah, we still got the best
cooldown. Do we know if
cooldown,
Dragoon
right?
even has Keen Flurry still?
I don't know if we
you
know
know,
that.
he was on Dragoon for a pretty long time. I didn't even look for Keen
I
Flurry.
didn't see Keith, or I didn't pay attention to it.
Unfortunate. Sly.
I might have to
So
look at
anything with parry on it currently will be replaced with acid.
that.
What about, so this is what's I don't get. They talk about how parry's replaced with tenacity. They even show later on with the other materia that like it's straight up Heaven's Eye materia has one of the other stats that we're going to be talking about. But
Shit.
what about tank gear with accuracy? Does that become tenacity? What if it had accuracy parry? Is it just tenacity? Does like
No, they said that was going to switch to all the accuracy stuff was going to switch to direct hit.
but that's
They
they said that direct hit is only on DPS gear.
melee.
Right. So it would have to be tenacity then, wouldn't it?
What if it's accuracy parry?
Oh.
Then you delete
So you reckon the current accuracy parry stuff might like double stack tenacity?
No,
and be
I'm
the best
wondering
gear?
why even bother telling us that when it's then confusing for other jobs that have the stat, but then it can't transform. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
By the way, it doesn't look like we do have Cane Flurry anymore.
Oh,
Just-
you're looking through the footage.
I need to go lie down.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Look. It's the Cane Flurry is the best cooldown in the game. All right.
I use it all the
You have
time
no
in
idea.
Palace of the Dead.
You have no idea how many times it says it in turn 9.
Turn 9. Oh, never mind. Press F to pay respect.
I almost believed you.
Really do.
Almost.
Really do. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss King Flurry.
Turn 9. Ah.
Uh,
Okay, so Sly, you were making a point about Perry? Well, I mean, we kept it on topic. We were just talking about King Flurry.
Yeah, what point is there to make? This is fucking awesome.
That's a point to make. That's your point.
Yeah, that's the only point. This is fucking awesome. Like it's funny, but it's awesome.
I guess the only question is, and I'm still not a fan of there's a few things that aren't talked about here. If I can't see exactly how much tenacity raises my damage or lowers the damage I take, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed. Don't get me wrong, it's something you can test with enough time, but for the love of God, can we just get a stat page? Because especially with a stat like that, it's super important to know the exact percentage.
And we don't know whether it's going to be a flat rate. We don't know whether it's going to scale. We don't know how it's going to scale. It's like,
there you go.
meh.
But I like the idea of a stat. We just wonder how, like, compared to determination, how much damage is it? You know, or you know, how's that? Is it worth getting over critical hit rate, for example? You know, is the combination of mitigation worth it, or is it like Parry, where it's like 0.5% fucking everything for like a bajillion points?
Exactly. It's like, well, what does it matter?
I was going to ask y'all that after we went over accuracy, but I'll go ahead and ask you now. Like with these changes, do you think our gear creativity, not even creativity, but you know, looking into melds and gear stats itself, is it going to be a huge change, or is it going to be, you know, it'll take like maybe a day or two to get used to, and after that you're probably.
So here's the thing: accuracy's gone. Accuracy was the one stat that kind of made you choose substats a little bit more carefully because it was always a balancing act. With accuracy being gone, which will be the next thing we cover, I feel like it'll be a numerical race to see. You know, I have a feeling tenacity will probably be anything with tenacity is guaranteed, and maybe warriors. I don't know if there's still going to be like a skill speed tier that they want to hit, for example. And then critical hit rate or something. But considering direct hit rates DPS, what's it called? You know, tenacity is tank only. And piety is only affects healers, which we'll talk about later. There's no overlap anymore. You know, you don't have accuracy on tanks. You know, no bard is looking at piety and going, yeah, because stop it. You were bad for doing it in the first place.
Wait, what?
You've never seen that?
Yeah.
Bard?
Yeah, there were people playing bard, chasing piety, so they could sing more.
I don't think I've
Okay.
ever
Because
seen.
I'm a bard. I'm a
That's the
support
first time I've heard that
role.
too. I can't even say anything because that's
Come on.
I never heard that, and I'm
Me
glad
either.
I
I've
hadn't.
seen that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's beautiful.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, go on. So do you? Because
Heidi,
for
I'm
melee,
dark.
it's still like, I'm thinking it's still gonna be crit. Crit will be the stat that we go to in terms of like bells and shit like that. Do you think that changes with direct hit or no?
Well, with direct hit, I mean, with tenacity, I think tenacity is the go-to if it's not capped. But if we're going to talk about direct hit, we got to explain what direct hit is first. We always said was accuracy was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take a guess? I'm going to assume.
Yes, we have it written down. What is?
It's when you hit someone
Don't
directly.
say. I knew it. I knew it was.
Oh yeah.
Do you
But
like my
direct-
Do you like my
directly
happy
where?
impression, guys? That was a happy impression.
Oh, that was your impression.
I'm Mr.
Yeah.
Unhappy now.
10 out of
Mr.
10.
Happy humor, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that was good.
I'm practicing.
That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just need
Awesome.
the Joyzy. Yeah,
Mm.
you just need a bit more baby face.
Look, it's growing back. All right, it's growing back.
I have that picture on my phone.
Yeah.
It's still growing back. That
Yeah.
doesn't change anything. Okay. All right. So, direct hit is a mini crit. It's something. It occurs more often than a crit,
Mhm.
but it's not a crit. It's
Mhm.
a direct
Not a
hit.
crit.
It's not a crit though. That's important because
Yeah.
if any ability says that it triggers on critical hits, that is different than direct hit theoretically.
Mhm.
But you
Um,
get that with a regular crit, and you get a super crit.
Yeah, you can stack direct crit.
Yeah, you can get a direct hit, which is it's more frequent than a critical hit, but less damage. You have the critical hit, which is less frequent, more damage, and if you proc them both, it's a direct crit.
Mm-hmm.
The number of people who are going to just do the fell cleave combo until they get all of them as direct crits is going to be
Triple DC or one more, but DC. Direct crit.
Man, what would the odds of that be?
I don't know because it doesn't
Probably-
say on
Very
the
low, 'cause
Yeah.
we don't know how often. Yeah, I can't help but imagine that getting 6 fell cleave direct critical hits in a row would be
Lottery.
Yeah.
Win the lottery.
Yeah,
like
pretty
you
much.
should have done Wondrous Tales that week,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. How do we feel about the redundancy of direct hit?
Well, I can't really call it redundancy because it's only going to make my numbers bigger.
In a redundant manner, because
But it's also
cares?
going to make the I guess like the range of your numbers bigger. So I think it's going to be a lot more satisfying in combat because when you see that critical hit full thrust, you're like, oh. But 1 in 100 of those is going to be a direct critical hit full thrust, and you're going to fall off your chair, and it's going to feel great.
Everyone's saying that warrior can't have direct hit to point out my mistake, but I mean, I
No.
thought it was a DPS. Kappa.
Well, could they still direct hit just because they don't have gear that gives them
I
bonus
wonder if
direct
you
hit?
can meld direct hit or if there's a flat direct hit rate across the.
See, I imagine they would have to be like a flat.
Yeah.
I don't think there has to be. It could just be
No.
only DPS can get direct
No.
hits.
Okay.
I mean, even if you meld it, maybe the game just tells you you're fucking dumb. Stop it.
Maybe.
Yoshi P's face comes up and goes like this.
You see,
real quick.
my assumption when he was talking about the strength thing again, right, was that these are stats that you can meld onto other jobs, but that's the only way that you're going to get them. It won't appear on the gear, right? In the same way that those vid accessories are the only ones that the tanks can use now. However, you could still meld strength onto them,
We'll
right?
find out, I guess.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, we will.
What's really weird to note is that accuracy is now 100% as long as you're equal to or above the level of your enemy. But if you're on the flank or the rear, it's over 100%.
Which makes sense because if you're under status effects like blind and you're at the rear, then whatever, if it's taken down by 20% or whatever, you'll have to sit on the rear to get your 100%, right?
Yeah, I mean, is that going to be the result? Is it going to be a mechanical thing at this
I think
point?
so. Yeah, I think so.
Considering we do have, like, I guess we have to have something, I guess. It always just doesn't make sense for them to detail it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I think-
do you think it's going to be more of a mechanic scene in the Interdimensional Rift now that they kind of announced it like this?
I think that the interdimensional rift is going to have a lot more kind of mechanic management than we've seen in a little while from raiding. I think that part of it is because of little details like that, and part of it also because we're putting all of the silences and the stuns, all the interrupts and stuff in the roll actions. So any party composition that you take in, you just take the tools that you need. It doesn't matter. Like you're not going to have to choose specific tools. So I feel like
Reddit's gonna say.
Yeah, but I feel like that's an anticipation of us being expected to use those things in raid, which we haven't really done that much in Heaven's Ward. Like interrupts weren't really a thing in Heaven's Ward at all. So I think that's where they're going. I think that's a good thing. I'm excited.
And Ethys, you bring up a good point, a good word specifically. In terms of all the changes that we've discussed so far, I feel like they're putting more of an emphasis on comp. It's kind of become apparent that like jobs are getting utility that they haven't had before, and it doesn't really allow more creativity in terms of your comp, but
allows your comp to be more versatile.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I feel like comp in terms of maybe in-game content and the interdimensional rift will be an important factor due to all these changes.
Yeah.
And not really the job gauges, but the role actions, the changes with new actions, the changes to old actions and shit like that. Yeah, it's just it all adds up to look at what you have, look at the job, like the role actions that you want to use. Pick your comp.
Pick your comp. Sorry, I was getting a notification about. Oh, I have a delivery that's going to be here very soon. Just so you know. Groceries.
Oh.
Yeah. I said, yeah. No. Yeah. I'm using Prime Now from Amazon. And I didn't get any notifications, so I decided to check, and it says they're here. Like outside, so I'm like looking out my window. So I might have to dip out for a minute. So let me move us on to, I guess, the next point. I mean, you can talk about piety if you want. It just only works on healers, and it's a substat instead of a main stat.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
It doesn't really change the way it was used, I suppose. Okay. Let's see. We've got a few things we can do. Some of the little things like ground mount speeds, which was fucking fast as hell.
It'll go fast.
There's also damage calculations changing. I don't think we can't really talk about that too much. I see the person with the groceries out there. So I'm going to actually get you guys started on PvP stuff. Ethys, you actually made a video on the PvP changes. So while I'm going to do this real quick, I want you to start the PvP discussion, if that's all right.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
I'm going to run to the restroom real quick.
All right, you go. Slyh and I'll talk about PvP. Go on. Fuck off then.
Yeah.
It's babies. So, I did a video on it recently kind of talking about my opinion and how I think that the fact that they've consolidated the combos and they've made limited actions and simplified, combos and stuff like that means that you can focus more on like the real meta of PvP, which is movement, coordination, communication, pushing for objectives, like outflanking and outmaneuvering the enemies and stuff like that.
Before you go into all that, and all that stuff is good, do you think these changes stemmed out of this decision to go esports?
What do you mean eastwards is in terms of reaching the Chinese and Korean market?
Yeah.
Or you mean going to Othard?
No, just esports.
Oh, esports. Oh, I thought you said eastward. No, I don't think so. It's just about making it far more accessible. Because the problem with PvP, and as I mentioned, it's partly due to the action bloat. It's partly due to things like action points and PvP gear and whatnot. Is that it's not accessible. And like, for example, I made the point in my video that I feel personally that savage raiding is more accessible than casual PvP, and that's kind of fucked up. That is kind of fucked up.
I wouldn't say all that.
You don't think so?
I think PvP for these changes are it's more accessible now than it has been.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it over raiding.
Well, when you go raiding, you don't have to change your hotbars. You know, you don't have to change your UI and your hotbars.
That's true, but I didn't have to. Like I set it to the. I personally set it to the point where I didn't have to change my hotbar. I have certain skills on like the ancillary bar because I use my gamepad, but that takes some adjustment. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that was the issue for me. It's like, yeah, you have to change your hotbars. You have to learn these new skills, learn where to put them and what to do with them. I just thought that it was really inaccessible, and as a result, not very many people were doing it. So
no, I wouldn't say not many people were doing it. Not many people were doing it at a high level.
Well, not many people are doing it consistently.
Yeah, until like they changed the cues, like they were non-existent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's only when they brought in the Garo stuff, people are like, oh shit, but they're only doing it for the Garo stuff. Yeah. So the main purpose of this video that I did, that I released yesterday, was so that I could collect some feedback, both from players like me that sort of dabble in it occasionally but don't really play it, players that have never touched PvP because of the accessibility options, and then like the more hardcore PvP players, the more like consistent high-level PvP players. And I found, as I was expecting, the people that are in position like me, sort of approaching more casually and finding it not very accessible or approachable, they seem to be all like really, really happy with these changes. Whereas the current like PvP veterans, they seem to be really split, because some of them are like, oh, but I've developed all these skills and that's all gone out the window. You know, they're making all the scrubs able to come in and stuff. And then others are saying, well, yeah, that's true, but most of my advantage over new players, again, are in that meta of objective play and maneuverability and coordination and team communication and stuff like that, and they're still going to kick ass.
I'm split with the changes on PvP. Some were for the better, some were to make it more accessible. And this is kind of going to mirror my point that I have about jump potions. We'll get to that in a little while. Making it accessible when you get a job, when you actually get your job, doesn't mean that you'll understand it completely.
You mean the being able to go in at level 30?
Go in at level 30. Hey, I can PvP now. That's all I'm gonna fucking do anyway.
Yeah. You gotta learn really quick. You've got 2 combos that are all auto-generated, and then a handful of cooldowns.
I would like to point out that your combo abilities, or at least from what we saw, from what his setup was, didn't use TP, and only some of the utilities used TP.
That I didn't notice.
Like jump was 400 TP on his hotbar, and I forgot. Well, it was either weapon throw or piercing talon was 200.
Piercing talon, I think. Oh, sorry, not piercing talon.
It was dude throwing something. I just don't know. I don't remember if that was weapon throw or piercing talon.
Yeah. But I feel like they're making it more about actual skill, and a lot of the complaints. I was just saying, Mike, the feedback
I heard everything. I heard it on the whole time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think that it requires more skill. A lot of people are saying it requires less just because it's been simplified. I think the fact that it's been simplified, again, as we talk with, and I always come back to this example, but having a 2.5 second cooldown means, everything that you do is more meaningful and more important. I feel like these simplifications, again, make everything that you do more meaningful, more important, and things like outmaneuvering and things like coordinating and chasing the objectives properly, and that is more meaningful, is more important, and that is what PvP is going to be about, rather than about what's the best rotation that I can do in this chaotic, clusterfuck to kill this guy.
Absolutely.
So having less skills draws out more important.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I
agree.
And here's my thing about that. Like, yeah, it does consolidate a lot. It does make it a lot more competitive, in my opinion. But at the same time, that like rips the talons off of pretty much the beastly classes we could pretty much identify at the beginning of every season. We all knew that the summoner was like a summoner that you don't touch is something to watch out for. We all knew that if you don't touch that machinist, he's gonna burst the shit out of somebody. Like a lot, the consolidation of skills definitely scares a lot of people, because it doesn't take away creativity.
But people haven't seen what summoner and what machinists have got and what their burst is going to be like. So people are begging the question. They're assuming that this consolidation means that they're basically going to neuter all PvP jobs, and I think that is actually begging the question.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what it kind of feels like, even though we haven't seen what the changes are.
I think because what we saw from Dragoon, that hasn't happened to Dragoon. Like, it hasn't been neutered. It's just been made more approachable.
some things need to be neutered. Machinist is way broken. You can 100-0 someone. If they get no heals, they're done. Like you got that's broken. It needs to be balanced. It's not balanced.
All right, so let me put this into perspective.
Okay.
They clearly looked at the most successful PvP games and tried to emulate one common thing. You want less skills with higher impact instead of more skills with lower impact.
Yes,
exactly.
And Mike, I know you probably heard it, but I'll pose the question to you and Mary as well. Do you think these changes stem from the move to esports?
I think they looked at the most popular games in esports to make these moves because they said they were looking at PvP communities or they're taking feedback from already established PvP communities.
And that's the thing, right? This has all been made with feedback from PvPs in Final Fantasy XIV, right?
Right.
No, PvP in general. Other esports communities as well.
Yeah, so they haven't just pulled it out of their ass.
And the thing is, look at all the most successful PvP games. Don't just look at other games that have PvP. Look at all the most successful ones. They're all very few abilities with very high impact. That is the number one theme. Because you don't want to give people a shit ton of buttons when they should be focusing on their positioning and the situation around them.
Because you overwhelm them. People can't play their jobs in PvE. You can't expect them to do it in PvP, you know?
Now, I will say the decision to make one-button combos, I'll say that's kind of redundant, and here's why. If you look at and we're taking Dragoon as an example, and I think, were they doing this on PS4 or using gamepad, I think, for the...
Yoshi always plays with gamepad, so...
Okay, here's the thing. If you take away the ability to do one-button combos, you're only using 13 slots, and that's still one hotbar. They want
that. They want a gamepad user to only have... I feel like they deliberately, because they reference it sometimes, they want...
Yeah, I mean, but even still, it's one hotbar. Even you take away the ability to do one-button combos, that's only 13 buttons.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So
it's just redundant.
So I'd also like to point out, as someone who regularly watches esports, I've watched League, Smite, Dota, CSGO, Marvel vs. Capcom. Obviously not comparable in this case to fighting games, but I looked at the formula and I was like, League of Legends, you heavily inspired this. Would you like to know why? So the number of abilities obviously being lowered, expected. Still somewhat reasonable, like you said, like 12, 13 buttons, without considering selectable actions. League of Legends has each champion. They have their actions. Okay, every champion's actions are different. Their passives are different. Well, they can then take 2 summoner spells, 2 selectable actions, out of a list of several. And then they have their keystone masteries, which are like talent trees in a sense, where they ultimately take one super powerful passive. You get to select 3 traits in PvP. There it is.
Well, it works.
It works.
Yeah.
Now, but this is not a MOBA, so does it work? This is not a MOBA. Does that work?
I think so. I think less is more for PvP.
Yeah, I agree.
At its core, less is more.
Now, I've been hearing a couple of concerns from opinions that I would describe as extremely alarmist, that the one-button combo in PvP is a precedent for them eventually doing the same thing in PvE. I just want to say, there's no fucking way.
No. I'm not saying
I've said that a lot. I've learned my lesson.
I'm saying that's a bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it is a precedent for them to do it. This to me is a test run to see if this works for PvP. Then it might as well fucking work.
I can't help but feel like if they were gonna do it for PvE, they would be doing it.
Yeah.
Like
here's my
the system's in place.
Here's the thing. PvE, a fight is scripted. You will learn a fight. It will always be the same, minus like maybe the black mage gets targeted instead of the bard by a mechanic, whatever. In PvP, theoretically, every single encounter is supposed to be different.
Yeah, it's completely chaotic.
Exactly. And so they're removing a bit of the chaos of like doing your rotation perfectly, where part of PvE's difficulty is doing that rotation while doing mechanics.
Yeah.
Because it's all set in stone. Whereas PvP, you never know what's going to happen. And so having to do your rotation and react to whatever is happening randomly in the fight is really difficult. And so they're streamlining it so you can focus more on what's happening in the battle and less
which is
on,
the
like,
essence of PvP.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas what you're doing is the essence of PvE. So they're not. I don't think they can simplify that.
And
Like I said, I think
here's
it's extremely alarmist.
Here's my
Absolutely.
thing. I see a few people losing their shit in chat. If they do one button combos, I am quitting the fucking game. I have never understood that kind of rage against something that is just strictly convenience.
Well, it'd be fucking boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for
fucking boring.
PvE, it's too far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
know
quit
that.
because I
They
played
know
other
that.
games that do it in PvE fine. It's just that I don't think 14 is built on that precedent.
In other games, and it doesn't. Okay, it might make it boring, but at the same time, it's just a matter of fucking convenience. Now, here's the thing: I don't think it should be mandatory. I think it, like, even in PvP, I still think it should be a fucking option. That you want to use those buttons, fine. Go ahead and use your buttons. Don't force it on people. I think that would be the worst thing to do, is to force it on PvE. If you wanted
to give people the option.
Combos, you should be given the option. Don't force it on players who already fucking hate it.
I mean, just everyone. Have you not seen the monk macros for PvE?
That's what I was thinking. Like, you're talking about macros there, basically, which is already an option, which is less efficient and less like min-maxy, and that's exactly what you're saying. Like, it would be just a less efficient min-maxed way of playing PvE how it is now.
Altogether, I think it's unnecessary, but welcome.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I think that's reasonable.
In both manners, like manners of speaking PvP, and if it does come to PvE.
I think the number one point to remember is PvP does not equal PvE, which was on their very first slide.
That's the most important thing to realize here, is they're being completely separated.
Yeah, they know that.
And they need to be.
That's why they're doing these changes.
One question, not mentioned in the live letter. Can I level with PvP from 30 to 60? Probably not, because if PvP does not equal PvE, then they wouldn't want you leveling in PvE with PvP.
Yeah, it would be cool, but
I can't help but imagine that at least you're gonna get some experience, from completing a PvP match.
I mean, that'd be fantastic.
Just give them like half of what you get from a dungeon or something like that. Just give them some token experience,
or like a portion, even half of like a Palace of the Dead set of floors or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
We'll see. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think we'll get.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I don't think so either. But it would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. What is? Oh, I just saw what's next on the list.
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead. Bring it up. Please bring it up. Please bring it up.
Actually, I've been very shocked. I've seen a lot of not negative reactions to this.
Yeah, people have been very reasonable about this, but I feel like most of the people who are going to be upset are kind of defeated at this point.
I was just going to say that. They don't have the energy to argue
they've been
anymore.
kicking and screaming for so long about it that they just run out. Nothing left.
So we have gotten confirmation that on June 16th, the day of early access, both a scenario shortcut and job level boost potion, previously known as jump potions, will be available for purchase. I don't feel like any of us four are bothered by this.
One per account, and I think.
Okay, well we gotta break it down potion
Wait,
per potion.
You don't think any of us are bothered about
Not
it?
us four, no.
No.
All right.
I mean, okay. Yeah,
Okay. So obviously they want people to have a catch-up mechanic for going through 300 fucking story quests, and technically, honestly, it's weird because you think about like the scenario shortcut, and you think about the job level boost in terms of like a catch-up mechanic, and if you're doing the scenario without the potion, you're leveling without the potion. Clickety clack clack clackety clicking. Damn it, Mary, the catch-up mechanic. No mustard here, only ketchup mechanics. There you go. He made the joke first. I just followed up. All right? There.
I hate you both.
You're welcome.
Fucking, I can't work like this.
Under these conditions.
No, not under these conditions. Okay, so it's to get people caught up is the point of the potions. So first, let's hit the scenario shortcut. Sly looks like he's ready to die.
I'm ready to fucking explode.
Good.
Why?
Why? Like sexually or?
Maybe. How you doing? I'm gonna touch on both of them. I know you're just talking about the scenario and the job itself.
Separately, yeah.
Go ahead and get your explanation out of the way.
I'm just gonna say what they
Wait,
do.
are you about to do a rant, Slyh?
Not really.
You sure? Yes. All right. Okay. Just give me.
Not really.
1
Yes.
second.
There you go. Okay, so the scenario. All right. I mean, he needs a beer for this. In all reality, I mean, look, no, seriously, he did. He went to go get a beer. He needs a beer for this.
Mhm.
That's the sign of an alcoholic, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm here with you, Mary. I think at this.
Oh, you just call Ethys Merri? I heard that.
How dare you?
Oh, shut up! You look the same.
All right. Go ahead.
That's racist.
Go ahead.
All Ethys and Marys look alike, apparently.
Pretty much.
All right.
No. I was gonna let Mike get through.
Okay. So there's for the story shortcut, there's one that just skips to the end of A Realm Reborn, and there's one that skips both A Realm Reborn and Heavensward. A Realm Reborn one is $18, and the Heavensward one is $25. You get your chocobo, they enroll you in the grand company of the city-state you started in, you get the main story done, and you get some side quests done to unlock some features. You also get all the cutscenes in the unending journey. For the job level boost potion, it raises the job to 60, with the max level being 70 at this point. There's one available for all of the 13 jobs prior to Red Mage and Samurai. Red Mage and Samurai you cannot purchase a potion for. Those are $25 per job, and more specifically, you can only purchase one per account until patch 4.1, in which case they'll analyze the data and see if that limitation should be lifted. It can also not be used on crafters or gatherers. You'll get a full level 60 set of gear, including a weapon. We'd have to presume that that would be a high enough item level to get you into the Stormblood missions. All job quests complete, all actions learned. You're dropped in Hall of the Novice. And remember that this does not complete the main story. So if you were to purchase either one of these potions individually without purchasing the other, you'd either A, be forced to actually do the story but with a leveled character, or B, level without the main scenario, pretty much. So,
redundancy.
Sly, how do you
gonna be
feel about
good.
this, co-host?
It's gonna be good.
Let me start this off by saying, I don't think this is a bad thing. That is my disclaimer. I do not think this is a bad thing. If people want to get into this game at this point, this is definitely an avenue to go. However, I have two caveats to this.
I like caviar.
Caveat.
Yeah, what he said.
I've said how I felt about this before, and I'm pretty much the crotchety old man in this regard. I understand that people play this game and skip out on the lore, much to the chagrin of someone, aka my co-host Ethys, because the lore is fucking awesome. But if you play this game and completely skip out on the lore and story that of everything that's happened so far, in terms of experiencing yourself, and then decide all of a sudden, after let's say Omega or 4.2 or something, and hey, this shit's getting good. Like, wow, this is a good fucking story. You have no rights to complain about the story when you didn't experience it yourself. That's just one caveat. Number two, anyone who decides to take this route, I feel will find it more difficult to learn the job than us who's actually been through it. Like,
I know what he's saying, Mary. I'll explain.
I feel like everything we've done, the way we've learned our job through leveling, through, actually, one, reading the fucking tooltip, and two, leveling just to test out the new ability that we have, even though some of them are fucking useless, and then putting everything together at in-game once you reach 60, it's going to be so different from the way they experience it just by fucking paying for it. I know that essentially you could level everything at square one. Like, everything's gonna be square one with the changes. Like, some people say that it's gonna be like we're going back to square one. Everybody will be at a kind of equal footing.
Square two. I'd say square two.
I say square two.
I'd say Square Enix.
All right, I'm done. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye.
I
Bye.
can't work with this.
Bye. Yeah.
Hostile fucking work environment. But yeah, I feel like everything like
Now the cameras are fucked up. Now you're Merri, he's Sly, and Sly's you.
I mean, we're the same person anyway, so does it really matter?
I'm not fucking fixing it.
Don't leave it.
That's all right. It's fine.
It's perfect.
I couldn't help myself.
So this is
I'm
now
sorry.
your opinion according to State of the Realm at this. just
Oh,
so you know.
shit. All right.
I've always wanted to be Sly, and now I'm Sly.
Thanks. Now I know like it'll be square 1 or 2, whatever the fuck you want to call it in terms of battle system, but coming in at 60 with everyone, like with just by paying for it, it's like giving a pilot keys to a Boeing 777 they haven't had any training yet. They don't know how to fly.
That's
They
a
haven't-
pretty
I think the
drastic comparison.
I think the stakes are infinitely lower than giving someone the keys to a Boeing 747.
Do those
without
have
any
keys
experience.
in the ignition? Don't they just press a
I
button?
think that maybe it's the same
Giant
as,
key.
as putting someone in a Boeing 747 simulator when they haven't had any experience. And guess what? They're going to learn in that simulator. But
Mhm.
I think
they'll just
you're
read the
thinking the
tooltips for the
stakes.
Boeing.
Here's the thing, going into, and I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but I just need
No,
to.
go ahead.
I just need to get the going into a level 61 dungeon, okay, with 1 or 2 scrubs who don't really know what they're doing is not a big fucking deal. It doesn't matter. They're gonna learn from 60 to 70. They're either gonna learn or they're not. And guess what? That has nothing to do with whether or not
All
they
right,
bought a jump potion.
Compare that to you who's actually had a better understanding of the job for how many years now? How many years have you played the game?
I know people who've played the game for even longer than I have, who played 1.0, who are fucking terrible.
And I get
Terrible.
under fucking standable. But you
If they want to learn the job, they'll learn the job. If they don't, it doesn't matter, job potion or no.
and okay, I have a question. Then. If you're going to put this into place, one, why didn't you make Hall of the Novice mandatory?
Why
It
did
doesn't teach you a job, yes, but it teaches you about the game. So if somebody wants to join this game, why didn't you make Hall of the Novice mandatory?
Well, Hall of the Novice is mandatory.
Talking
isn't
about
it,
brand
if you
new
wanna unlock
players. Like a
dungeons?
brand new player
Brand new players.
already doesn't have to do Hall of the Novice. It's not mandatory for them. They could go up to level 60 and never do Hall of the Novice.
Yeah, you see, when again, this discussion has been going on it's been going on for like what 9 months now about jump potions, and I've always been saying that the qualification for me, like, it'd be a good thing to have a Hall of the Intermediate, so those people that do want to learn
We
are
agree
sort
on the
of
same thing.
enabled.
Happy said the same thing.
Yeah. But that said, if they want to learn, it's going to be more difficult for them to learn, but they're still going to fucking do it. It's just going to take them a little bit longer. I think it's going to have no impact on the community. The only impact it's going to have is that we're going to have players coming in from games like World of Warcraft, right? Who've always wanted to have a go at the Final Fantasy XIV endgame, haven't had the time to do the whole leveling process and all that. Who are like, oh shit, now I can just jump straight in. And it's going to be good for our numbers. It's going to be good for the community. It's going to be good for the perception of Final Fantasy XIV among like other MMO players who think that this game is just like some casual bullshit, which it's not. There's only good things about the jump potion. And furthermore, the majority of people using the jump potions are going to be people who have already leveled up and just have an ult and don't want to go through the main scenario again.
Or people who don't have time to go through the fucking main story.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
and the money.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to present 3 scenarios, and I want you to tell me what all of these have in common. Someone levels by doing fates. Somebody levels by doing Palace of the Dead. Somebody levels with a jump potion. What do all 3 of these things have in common?
It's mindless.
Nobody learned how to play their fucking jobs anyway, leveling up.
yeah, exactly.
Palace of the Dead, you have all the abilities, but when the enemies die as quick as they do, unless you're taking it to floor 200 where they'll survive more than 2 fucking seconds, you don't learn shit doing any of those things.
That's the thing.
Those are the 3 most popular ways to level.
This is even true back in like A Realm Reborn, is that, hey, guess what? No one knows how to play their job before endgame. When you learn how to play your job is when you get into raids and you realize that you're doing everything suboptimally and you have to go back to the drawing board and work out. No one's going to know how to play their job in level 61 or 6, whatever the first
That's why I
dungeon is
said
going to be.
everybody optimizes once you get the end game and you you've learned your skills, you read the tooltips. leveling, and then you get to end game, and then you optimize your rotations there.
I think it's going to have no impact. The only thing it's going to do is bring more people into the game.
It'll bring more people into the game, but it does nothing for the disparity in terms of skill level, something that they wanted to address.
Well, they're not going to give you a get good potion.
No. but the thing is, like, you really hit the nail on the head there. You really hit the nail on the head there. It's not going to increase the disparity. It's not going to decrease the disparity. It's going to do fucking nothing to the disparity. There's going to be the same.
More players.
There's just going to be more players.
The players who want to learn will learn.
Yeah.
Again,
and the people who don't care won't learn, and then they won't raid.
Yeah. There's just going to be more players.
But one of the things,
that is good in itself, in and of itself.
One of the things they addressed in terms of this was people wanting to get to in-game quicker. These new
They want
players
to get to the most recent content quicker. That's not.
Well, you want to get to end game quicker so you can learn your job quicker.
Yeah, because
you're certainly not doing it while you're leveling up.
Okay, so obviously, just Heavensward we can't apply anymore because it's not going to matter in 3 weeks. But I think of Black Mage. You don't even get Fire fucking 4 until level 60.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like your rotation completely fucking changed. It's
All
the
you
same thing
needed
with
to
Dragoon.
pick up at some point along the way was that Fire 3 is not and Blizzard 3 are not two abilities you just spam back and forth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't even do that when they level up naturally.
And that was true. So many of the jobs in Heavensward is that you cannot practice your rotation as you're leveling up. Your rotation at level 60 is completely different ballparks.
Yeah.
And it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be exactly the same.
I think of even just the difference between getting just Wheeling Thrust at 56 and then getting Fang and Claw at 58. Even just that tiny difference.
Yeah, it's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. And a lot of people couldn't adjust to it. Like, I think of when people are leveling up and picking up their skills, that I just remember how different it was from 50 to 60. And 60 to 70, I have to imagine for some jobs will probably feel similar. I look at Paladin.
It's going to be even more different.
Yeah, look at what we have.
It's not going to be similar from what we've seen. It's going to be even more different than it was.
Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, the thing is, I think
you
of
have
like
a better basis to go on with the knowledge that you know now, as opposed to someone who's just coming into the game.
I think in some cases the knowledge that I have now makes me assume things which sort of hold me back. And I might be, for example, going into Dragoon at level 70 and wanting to do my old rotation and realizing that it's not going to fly anymore and being like, oh, I'm just going to keep as close to my old rotation as I can. And guess what? This doesn't work. I think that coming in with no expectations and no precedent in a lot of ways is a really good position to be in.
So you're saying coming in with no knowledge of anything whatsoever is the best position to be in.
Let me read the tooltips. Give me an hour. I'll work out.
I can guarantee you that at level 70, bards are trying to use Wanderer's Minuet to get cast time still at some point because people are trying to pick up on it. They're just like, oh, they need MP, I use Ballad. What the fuck does this do? I guess that's just how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind too is people who buy these aren't going to be like, "Oh, this is my first MMO ever. Let me just skip."
Yeah, no. I mean, there'll be a couple of them.
Okay, I don't agree with because I know plenty of people.
There'll be a couple.
I think that'll be very rare. I think
there's going to be some rich fucks who buy this, like who buy every job
after 4.1.
I feel like most new players will want to play from the start so they like can learn what they're doing.
I'm not 100% confident in that, but
me either.
I think more than people who would just skip everything.
I think the most likely thing for new players is going to be wanting to skip the story.
Yeah, like they're going to
because they hear through hearsay that that 2.x grind is an absolute bitch. So they're going to buy the Tales of Adventure Heavensward, and then they're just going to go through and power level in Palace of the Dead. That's going to be the most common thing I think for new players. And I woke up Pippin because I was yelling. So sorry about that. It's not like
that's the face.
And another thing I wanted to address was the fact that, like, yes, this is like you pay and you get past 2.0 and 3.0. They neglected to mention, or I don't know if they're going to do anything about it. For the people who don't take that route, are they going to add even extra bonuses for people who decide to take the long haul and just level from 2.0 to where we're at?
I'd have to imagine there's improvements. I mean, on top of it, you'll have, if you do 1 to 50 and you pre-ordered Stormblood, you got a sexy new earring.
It's true.
And on top of that, don't forget about the server things. If you're on one of the designated servers, you get those EXP boosts. If you're on a newly created character on a newly created server or on a designated server, you get those EXP buffs for the whole server transfer thing.
Well, also in regards to the like earrings and stuff, if you're in a dungeon that's under 15, you're synced. Those two
Yes,
take effect. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So ultimately, I guess the question is it pay to win?
Well, that's what I was about to say though, that because I've been seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh my god, this is pay to win. This takes my experience away from me." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to that, I'm just like, I didn't realize that the win condition for 4.0 was having a job at fucking level 60. Because I guess if that's the win condition, then it's pay to win. If that's not the win condition, then guess what? You're not paying to win because you're not winning.
I feel like these people don't know what a real pay to win game is.
Well, they just don't know what the win condition is.
A12 Savage for me, then yes, it was pay to win.
Well, that's exactly the thing. It's like
I think it's
I got to
assume
assume that there's some people that are the people that are saying this is pay to win are people who like in Heaven's World they got their job to level 60 and they're like, all right, I won the game. I'll see you guys in 4.0. Bye bye. And guess what? I don't care about their opinion. Simple as that. Because they subbed for a month and then they pissed off. And if they think that that's the win condition for the game, that's fine. But it's not. They're wrong. And if you're talking in a very literal sense, it is not pay to win.
Mary?
I don't think it's pay to win. I don't think it's not even close. Not even close.
I don't think it's pay to win. I agree with that. But how much of the content have you skipped out?
How much of the content could I just go do at any point now because I have it unlocked? If I really wanted to do it, I'll go back and do it. If someone tells me, wow, the Coil story was great, they could go to the Unending Journey or they could go do it unsynced, which they'll probably do because they'll have to figure out what Wondrous Tales is anyway.
And if you didn't want to do it while you're leveling up, you wouldn't have done it.
I don't see it doing Coil because that's not.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's not going to do Coil.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it doesn't win you the game, but you just have a fuck ton.
Some people just really don't care about the story. You know, I respect that if you're just not interested. So
I know a few of those people.
Well, I mean, I don't, but I tolerate it.
Like I said, that's just the grin of my co-host here.
No, you are the lore guy now. Have you not looked at our overlay?
Yeah. You're
yeah.
That way.
What I've learned today is that Merri is secretly Sly and wants Garuda's rack on his wall. He's even got a space for it in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that Sly now wins State of the Realm because he's actually, Eorzivia because he's actually Ethys. And that
Merri looks the same as he always does.
Merri and Ethys are actually the same person is what I've learned.
I was right.
Yeah, there you go. It's like I don't know why only Merri and Sly changed places.
Do your best Merri impression, Ethys.
Me?
Yep.
I already did it. I can't do a Minnesota accent. Hi everybody, I'm very Merri. I'm from America.
I'm from America.
I like samurai.
Why am I
wish it was
from
a
the
tank
South?
though, but I like samurai.
Why the fuck am I from Texas?
I'm from the South and I got a little bit of a lisp too. I don't know where that came from. Dude, you fucking asked me to, right?
Even your bird thinks your accent is shit.
I don't have a Southern accent.
Even your bird thinks your accent is shit.
Were you trying to do a North Carolina accent?
No.
Okay.
He's just Australian, so it just sounds like that.
What the fuck was that?
My favorite comment in the chat
was... my Merri impression.
My favorite comment in the chat was, are we in a jungle?
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh my god. Okay. So,
yeah, you're in the jungle, baby.
I'll show you a jungle. So at the very end of it all, we had the announcements, just a bunch of reminders of stuff they've been announcing for weeks and weeks and weeks. The one thing that's interesting is for the letter from the producer live at E3, we figured there would be one, but it's confirmed now. Yeah. And then we found out that the battle challenge there will have a 4.0 primal, so Lakshmi or Susano, we'd assume, will be the challenge at E3. The Fat Chocobo head will be on sale soon in Japan at the very least, and then they just reminded people of everything else. So it was a good live letter, yeah.
It was the best live letter.
10 out of 10 with live letter again.
Mhm.
You want to know a secret?
What?
I slept through the entire live letter.
I know. I hosted you at the end of it, and you said, "Yeah, I didn't watch it because I knew it all already." That was
I mean, that's fair. That's reasonable.
I was like, I'm pretty much, I'm sure I'm gonna know basically everything, so I'm just gonna sleep through it because I want to sleep. I'm sorry.
Well, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning for you, so I think that's reasonable.
6 o'clock in the morning. It was
Oh.
noon where he is.
Yeah, it was later.
Oh, yeah, you're the other way around. Wait, you slept?
This is how un-American he is. He's on. Ethys is on the West
What?
Coast, and he thought that Merri on the East Coast was 3 hours behind.
I know that it's a 3-hour difference, right? I got that right. Just the wrong direction.
Just the
Yeah.
wrong direction.
Yeah, just like Merri's got an American accent.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw. Y'all.
Oh my God!
Check that out.
You are just. You better learn time zones for your citizenship.
You reckon that's gonna be? You're gonna quiz me on time zones?
No. Just be safe. Even Poe's looking at you like, what?
That's not Poe. Poe's
it's not-
3
that's right,
times the
Poe's
size
second.
of Pippin.
I don't
That's
know
my
how
best
big
friend.
Bird is. Yeah, that's Pippin.
We're gonna go to
They're both
Mordor.
babies.
We're gonna go to Mordor together.
Good luck.
Good luck. Ethys just like, well, it's not my bird technically, so
No,
I don't have to worry about Mordor all that much.
exactly.
All right, I'd say we finished that in a pretty timely manner. This episode about
Yeah, just in 3 hours.
about 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 38 minutes. All right. Shh. We're in the jungle. He's nibbling at your finger.
There you go.
He
You
likes
can have
it.
that.
Yeah,
Someone earlier said "State of the Jungle."
State of the jungle.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys.
The mighty jungle.
This place is
The
very small.
Ethys sleeps tonight. You're the one who is in the jungle there, so you're the one who's sleeping in the jungle.
Hey, can you shut the fuck up? Hey?
I love that he just looked at him straight in the face. Hey, you shut the fuck up.
And my favorite part is when he's like, "What the fuck did you
He
say to
actually
me?
shut the fuck up. He actually shut the fuck up,
Fuck
so it
did you
works.
say to me?" Okay. All right.
He probably wants a beer.
So on that note, I think we can wrap up the show and move on over into a very short post show, so that we can use the rest of the remainder of our evenings for whatever we so desire. So let's see, who should we start with? Let's start with, I'm gonna roulette it between you two, so it's like the expert roulette. Let's start with, I can't even fucking do it because Ethys is Slyh and
Left for
Slyh.
that.
So. Okay, now I gotta figure out. Okay, there we go. So Slyh. God damn it! You ruined everything, Ethys. You ruined everything. I'm just guessing at this point. All right, so Slyh, aka Very Merri, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they find you at?
Not down there, that's for sure.
Giggity.
You can find me at twitter.com/very_Merri, I think, and twitch.tv/very_Merri, and youtube.com/very_Merri. I don't think there's an underscore in that one.
You don't think? You don't know?
I don't think so.
Try both.
Just go to YouTube, type in Very Merri.
There you go. And oh shit, I hope this is Ethys. Okay.
Me?
It
Is it me?
Yes.
Hi guys, I'm Ethys. You can find me on YouTube doing a lot of videos and stuff like that. YouTube.com/EthysAsher, or you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EthysAsher, where I stream 5 or 6 nights a week. Follow me on Twitter at Ethys FFXIV, where I do a lot of shit posting and bird pictures, and Facebook, other places. Just search for Ethys Asher, you'll find me.
Will they find the Grinder account?
Yeah, if you look hard enough.
Look hard enough. There you go. How you doing? I think this one's Slyh. Yes. There we go. Perfect. Ethys, you got a bit of a tan.
Well, you can find
Don't try to do Australian. It's not working.
I thought it was pretty good.
No, it was awful.
Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate.
It's fucking shit. You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyh, aka Greyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/The Velvet Room. And Velvet Room has a shirt. Marge made a shirt. Go copy
Oh, dang. Nice.
Would you like to try the Ethys impression one more time?
Fuck no.
It's the southern accent throwing it off is the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's the exact opposite of what Ethys trying to do.
I thought it was real. I thought it. Okay, Sly, just say sit on my face.
I'm not gonna fucking say that, man.
He won't stoop to your level.
He's not.
He's not stoop kid. He's not stupid.
You gotta do what Ethys told us in San Fran. You know, you piss someone off in public, you say, "Good on you, mate."
Yeah, exactly. It works
Because they're
all the
like,
time.
"Oh, you're from Australia. Oh, sorry."
Oh, sorry. Oh,
It's okay.
jeez.
You don't know our customs.
Well, Ethys
Just
knows
master
ours.
that. Master that. Good on you, mate.
There you go. Good on you, mate. All right, and I'm the last guy. It's so hot, I just didn't even bother with the green screen. Like it's up, but just it's
green.
It's green. If
Yeah.
if you tell me, because it's colorblind, so I don't fucking.
People can put whatever they want there now.
Yeah.
Straight,
Well,
that's
no,
a
it's not
good-
gonna look that great because it's like the lighting isn't even.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look that great anyway, so
Yeah, you're right. The green doesn't look great.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
You can find me, Mr. Happy127, everywhere: Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Posted pictures of my cat and food occasionally, because those are the things. Those are the interests and the hobbies.
It's your
have.
two loves.
Cats and food, but not cat food. Just to be clear, because that could be. He wants to put your glasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
No, let him do it. He wants
Bye-bye.
your glasses.
Bye-bye.
He wants your glasses. That's all he did. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to. He was just looking up to you. You're his role model. There you go. All right.
See you later, everybody.
On that note, everyone, we're gonna wrap up, and post show will be very short. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week for whatever show that ends up being.
I'm not very short.
All right.
All right, I'm leaving now. All right.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. At least you can't fuck up your own names in the outro screen. Ethys.
Yeah.
What did I fuck up?
Well, you fucking up the camera can't fuck up the outro screen at least.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't fuck up the camera. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was he, and I was me.
He was he.
And I was
and-
the.
He was he and I was me. I want your glasses again.
Can I fucking help you? Can I fucking